Titan Toy Expo.
Join us in Nashville, Tennessee for the Creators Crown Awards. Over $5,000 in cash prizes. Different categories for submission including Best Diorama, Best Original 3D Sculpt, Best Custom Action Figure, and Best Action Figure Photography. Bring your submissions to this year's Titan Toy Expo, October 25th and 26th. Learn more about the event at creatorscrownawards.com.
Hello, everyone. This is the 3POA podcast. The fact that you're watching it is actually pretty pathetic. Grown-ass men collecting toys and reading comic books. What kind of loser are you? You've probably never even seen a real female vagina before. Anyways, Laserpants got Shane Davis on the show tonight. Shane is a comic book artist with a homosexual haircut, but holy shit, can he draw the hell out of some monsters. And probably dicks, too. I imagine he can draw an amazing veiny wiener. Anyways, enjoy the show, you sexless fatties. Oh, and Alex is on the show, too, so that's gay.
Shut up and sit down.
Welcome, everyone, to the 3POA podcast, episode 111. I'm your host, Laserpants, also known as Ryan. I will be joined by my co-host very shortly. He's a little behind setting up, but it's great to see y'all here. Welcome, everyone, all the new people that are in the chat. Great to see ya. How are y'all? We've already got people in here yelling at me. Wait, what is this? Drew G says, who is Shane Davis? Only the baddest ass Godzilla's pinballs flicker in Tokyo. Also, a pretty good comic artist and storyteller. Find out before the show starts. Dropping links now. Thank you. And he did. He dropped links in the chat there for our guest, Shane Davis. But first, let me introduce my co-host for the night. Bobby could not make it. Bobby is in his hometown in New Jersey at New Jersey Toy Con. So he couldn't be here spending time with family after the show. But I got the next best thing. One of the sexiest men working in comics today. Please welcome my good buddy, Alex Sanchez. What's going on,
Hey
Alex?
guys, what kind of an intro is that? The next best thing?
Well, I mean, next to
How dare
Bobby.
you?
What? I mean, this show's more about toys, and you're more about comics. You know?
Well, this is the second week in a row I've been on this show. I'm expecting a salary, 401k, you better pony, and I want that Bobby Vala money.
I can DoorDash you some chicken nuggets. Would you settle for that?
Yeah, I'll give them to my daughter. She loves them.
I told you to go to the barber before the show. I said, you got to get trimmed up. No?
I know. I'm a mess.
You have a good day?
I did.
Yeah.
Went out to dinner with the family, and I actually got home like 20 minutes ago, but my daughter wanted me to put her to bed. She's very particular. So I was dealing with that. Then I had to come here and set up, so here I am.
Yeah. So you give her some Benadryl and beat her, and then...
No,
Yeah,
Jesus. No. What is it with you and beating kids?
I don't know. Anyway, well, without further ado, let's bring in our guest tonight. work goes back decades from DC, Marvel, and now his own comic imprint, 9 Lives Comics. Please welcome Shane Davis to the show. Shane, welcome. Great to have you here.
You got it all set up.
Yes,
I
I do.
don't have to say that. It's just there. It's like, woo! Katie did in the chat.
Katie's here.
Hello, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, man. So it's great having you here.
Yeah, I only saw you like a few hours ago.
Yeah, last night was rough. I had been up for like 26 hours. Good thing I was wearing these sunglasses because my eyes were getting droopy. I was like halfway through the show, I started like falling asleep, and not because of you guys, just because of lack of sleep. And I grabbed a bottle of whiskey, and it wasn't like normal whiskey. It was 110 proof, I think, whiskey, and it hit me pretty hard. But
that's good. Hey,
that's okay.
Alex, I haven't talked to you in forever.
Shane, how the fuck are you, man?
Good. What year was the last time we talked? It was a New York Comic Con.
Yeah, it was definitely more than 5 years ago, and it was at your table, and I believe you were like sitting next to some, I don't know if she was like your girlfriend or fiance or something. Her last name was Galecki or something.
Yeah, that's my ex-wife now. So that was a long time ago.
So how long
that probably that goes back a ways. So
like in like the teens, right? Like 19 or 18 or 17.
Yeah, I thought I saw you though, not at my table, but just walking at New York Comic Con.
Maybe, man, it all blends in over the last 10 years.
Because I was thinking, I was like, I know I saw Patrick and you together walking at New York Comic Con. And I was like, that had to have been like 2018, maybe. I don't know. I get it all. It's a blur. But yeah, no. Good catching up with you. Let's go.
Yeah. By the way, I was real quickly, I went in my pile of comp copies of the work I've done, and look what I found.
Dude, I was talking about that the other day. That was a nightmare job. Those covers.
Hold on, let me show you
the cover.
This isn't the cover that you did on the book that I did the interiors on. I think it's let me see if I can find it real quick.
So this is something that you guys worked on together?
No, it's weird. And my memory might be a little dodgy here because and correct me if I'm wrong, but basically me and Alex went to. Are you bringing somebody else in? Am I holding somebody else?
No.
Okay.
No, Scott is just the producer. He's in the background helping me with the chat. So
I got you. Yeah. That's another cover. So by that cover there, they're saying, can I draw Hulk not angry, but looking intimidating?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so he's standing in a hole of a wall, but he can't be punching. He can't have bald fist. And he can't have his teeth gritting. I literally had Marvel asking me not to draw Hulk angry, but draw him intimidating. I'm not even making this shit up. And so basically, I don't know if you remember the story behind that, Alex, but like John told me like Target basically said we want a bunch of books. And then Marvel's like, what if we make these digests for Marvel?
Yeah,
but then we break them up into single issues and double dip and get money from the direct market. And that's why in the single issues, the lettering is so big because they were super cheap and only lettered it one time to be shrink down into digest.
Yeah. I think what happened was because I remember getting the PDF proof. Like when I finished it, and that was the first time that I saw that you had actually done the cover for it. And I was like, oh shit, what a coincidence. But I don't know how we ended up on it together.
You see, that's where I was thinking about the other day, because I came across some of my Spider-Man comps because I was working on Spider-Man books. And Mark, it's weird. Time. Mark Brooks was actually also working on some of those. And I know we were both talking. And because I was in DC licensing work, trying to get work in comics. And I know you were at the art store still. I don't know. Did I ever mention you to John Barber?
No. The way I got this Marvel Age thing, I think it was called Marvel Age Hulk. And So the last year that I was at the school, I went to a convention and I showed my work to CB Sobolski. And then he liked my work, my portfolio. He had me do like a 5-page Ultimates sample script kind of thing. And I did it while I was like in my final year of the school, like maybe like a month before
I think you showed me that.
Yeah.
That's weird. You're drawing the Ultimates thing.
Yeah. And then I gave it to him and I don't think he was too impressed, but he said there were some problems with the pages, but let's stay in touch. And we'll get in touch after school is done. So after I finished my first gig professionally, which was for Dark Horse, I hit him up.
Was that a Star Wars short story at Dark Horse?
It was like a mini series called The Old Republic. It was like 5 or 6 issues. I was on there for a while.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. But and then by that point, I guess my artwork had matured enough to where he was like, all right, I'll give you some work. So he gave me this. And I might have met John, and he also gave me Spider-Man Unlimited.
The CB Sobolski was the editor of Marvel Age stuff at first, but by the time that Hulk book started, I think he kind of graduated up, and John Barber was basically, and I think Nicole Kidman, no, that's an actress.
No, I know what you're going to say. So John Barber I believe, was the editor on this, but the assistant was this really crabby lady, which was not very pleasant, called Mackenzie Cadenhead.
Oh yeah, Mackenzie Cadenhead.
She was a nightmare to work with, man.
So you know the story about her. I'm gonna spill all the beans. So she started dating the publisher Dan Buckley, which I think they're married and have a kid now. So she had to quit her job because Marvel's like, yeah, you can't have office relationships.
Yeah. So she wasn't very pleasant to work with because CB, I mean, thankfully he gave me this book and he also gave me Spider-Man Unlimited, like I mentioned. So I had to turn in like, what is that? 20 pages plus 35 pages in like a month and a half.
Oh, yeah.
And then she was just like writing me like, you got to get this in on time. And I mean, my priority really was Spider-Man just because I preferred the character. So I got that done first, and then I finished Marvel Age Hulk. But I mean, I ended up doing stuff right after for Marvel. But yeah, I did not appreciate her. I mean, I was a rookie too, you know. I was like feeling the deadline pressure, sleepless nights.
I love how polite you are. I didn't care for her. She wasn't very polite. She was, like most people would just be like, oh, she was such a bitch, you know.
Well, she's not around anymore. I mean, no, she was. I can attest. She was a difficult, one of the most cold, stern editors. I remember I just turned in a job and I was trying to be polite. I'm like, yeah. So what's going on? She's like, nothing. We're just here talking. I was like, okay. We're done. It's fine. You have the work, and checks in the mail. See you later. Bye. Is like, holy shit, lady. I just, because I was working on, it's like they asked me to do those covers and I was doing 2 issues of the Spider-Man stuff for a whole volume. And it's weird too. Like, I want to say Jamal Igle was in there too. And so it was like 4 issues and I was half of the book. And then at the end of it, and I'm done with my work and I'm keeping up with my deadlines for like, and giving me those covers. And they're like, we're never hiring an artist for 2 of these issues ever again. I'm like, yeah, I didn't ask for 2 issues. You're the one. I mean, I did what I could do at the time I said I could do. I never lied to you about when I would turn these in. I was up front. So if this is a problem, it's on your end, not mine. I mean, I did the deadline you gave me, but there was like, so the problem with this book we're talking about is this is like kind of crazy where you could see Marvel really getting into big box stores, like the Spider-Man to point out that this is when the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie was coming out. There was Spider-Man merch everywhere. Like all the Ultimate Spider-Man covers were basically T-shirts and beach balls and stuff. The Dark Knight trilogy was starting, so there was a lot of Batman merchandising artwork, which I was doing at DC at the same time. So comics were kind of getting mainstream in big box stores all of a sudden. Not so much the books, but the actual, and Marvel was like, oh, you don't like Angry Hulk? We'll give you a not Angry Hulk comic. That's fine. You guys are selling Hulk fists for kids to box the shit out of each other. It's okay. Shane, don't draw the Hulk with fists clenched anymore. It was really weird. And that was when I was like, yeah, I even knew then, I was like, I don't know if like comics would sell its ass down the river given the chance for money. Like I was like, these guys are ready to sell out, because I was still going into the offices, and I remember when I was doing that cover and I did the first one, and the guy comes in, and is like, no, this is good and everything, but and it was a different guy I never saw before. It wasn't. Was
this the first cover?
Yeah, and the guy goes, can he not? He's like really dressing him down. He's like, this needs to be intimidating, but he goes, look at Jack Kirby's Hulk. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. You want that? Okay, I'll do that. And even when I would do that, they're like, yeah, I don't like that. You know, and it was like, who am I dealing with? And in the end, I was dealing with Target through Marvel.
Yeah.
And I'm on the shit on Marvel, just so you know, that, and nobody knew this till the end. There was never a royalty paid on any of these comics. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, no, I've never actually. I do.
You know why? You know why? Turn that book around. Is there a logo on it? The Target logo?
No.
On the back. So basically that digest, they, because of the SKU and everything, they Marvel considered that a product and not a book. So there's never been a royalty from those books, despite any of that, because it was technically a product on the shelf, not a book. That's how penny pinching Marvel was with that.
I didn't know that. That's,
Mike Rates told me that, because he was actually writing some of the stuff.
Yeah, he wrote the
He
story.
used to be an editor at Marvel, and he was like,
I still kind of keep in touch with him to this day, just online and stuff like that.
This is the easiest show I've ever done.
Yeah,
this is great. I love hearing all this stuff. I do.
Well, it's interesting because I mean, that's how my career started, is just drawing licensing images and trading cards for Versus through DC licensing. And then when I finally started getting some actual interior comic work, it turned out it was, again, more merchandising artwork for Target.
Yeah. And
then from there, I think from there I got Mysteries in Space at DC.
I have a question for you. Do you remember, this was like the summer after I graduated. You had graduated the year before. And you were still living in Jersey. And you called me up one time, and I think you were doing like, I don't know if it was an inventory issue, but it was a Robin issue. And you asked me to like help you out inking
on some background. So
were you working at DC at that time?
Well, DC license. So that's weird. So I was working in DC licensing, and I had like, I don't know if it was actual backgrounds or if it was, what happened is I don't know what what I remember is I asked you. So I got the job, but I was working at DC licensing, and DC Comics called me up. DC licensing called me up, and they said, can you draw, like, you'll have to sign a bunch of paperwork, but are you okay doing like a, I don't know what you call them. It's not a coloring book, activity book, right? Activity book, right? For Christopher Nolan's Batman movie. So I was like, I didn't know what I was going to do a month from now. And I'm like, it don't have to look like I draw it. So let me see if I can get guys from Telegraphics.
Oh, yeah. I remember those guys.
And I think you were still around at the art store. So, and it was like it had to be figured out really quick. And they're like, you have to sign this paperwork to even talk to you about it, because this was before shit slipped out on the internet, right? And they were going to send me all the photos of what Scarecrow would look like, what the suit looked like. I guess Ra's al Ghul. See, I was already drawing those characters, and but DC comic versions for product. But and that's how. And I was like, but now I'm doing this Robin issue. And I basically asked a bunch of guys if they just wanted to chip in and do it. And then everybody got back to me late, and I had to tell them, nah, I'm skipping it. but I signed the paperwork and everything.
So it didn't end up getting published in any form or anything like that?
No, I never did it because nobody got back to me. And I was like, well, I mean, I could either piss it away or I could take it and just farm out this activity book and let everybody get some money. Because I couldn't do both. That was the thing. So it was a really weird time where I was like kind of working in 2 departments at DC at the same time. But at the same time, I was like, that's kind of fucking cool. I'm going to get to see this Batman movie before, not see the movie, but see what characters look like.
We're going to look like, Well, I mean, I really appreciated the opportunity. I mean,
I just didn't want to waste the money. I was like, because everybody basically, for people who don't know, like we graduate school and some of us worked at Telegraphics, which Joe was a company Joe Kubert kind of had set up to do a PS magazine, a military comic magazine that Will Eisner started.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a way for people to have some work right out of school. What Joe wanted people to do, and he would give me shit about it, is take the opportunity while you're working on that and staying busy and walk your ass up to DC and Marvel and bang on doors for work and say Joe sent you type thing. So I was kind of like, what am I going to do with this gig? In the end, they're going to want to I don't know if you've ever worked on the activity stuff, but they all want it drawn with like a really thick line and you're tracing photos. So I was just kind of like, maybe some guys can come together and work on this. But at the same time, I couldn't really be really loud about what I was doing. Because they were like, sign this paperwork. We're doing a Batman thing. With the movie.
Well, you were always really offering me good advice. I don't know if you remember some of our conversations, like when I was still working at the art store, and like even after
we talked on the phone a bit too.
We did a little bit,
not much.
But there was one moment in particular where, like I mentioned, I turned in these pages to CB at Marvel, and he wasn't too impressed, and I was kind of like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to get work? And then I remember talking to Andy Kubert, and he's like, here's my friend Nick Napolitano, I think is his name. He was like in charge of like, the lettering
production guy.
He was like in charge of like the lettering and stuff.
Yeah, that whole department.
Yeah. And he's like, I put in a good word for you, so if you want a job there, you got it. And I was like, cool. And I remember going to the art store to work later that day, and you stopped in to buy some supplies or something. And I was telling you what was going on. And you were like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to draw comics. And you were like, well, you really need to take some time basically to think about making that phone call, because you might fall into, you might start walking towards a path that you might not be able to come back on. And I was like, all right. So I remember taking like a few days to think about it. And like literally the following weekend, I went to a convention out in Philadelphia. And that's when I got my first gig with Dark Horse. And like I've been doing, comics ever since. So little stuff like that. And even when we would meet up at conventions and stuff, you would always ask what I was up to, like give me just advice, industry advice, and I always really appreciated that, Shane.
Yeah, for sure. What's funny is I probably gave you that advice because that's what I stepped on. I basically ended up in the DC licensing department. So if anybody at DC really hired me for anything specific, it would step on the toes of another department. So it would actually make editors not want to hire me at DC Comics for interior work. Hence why I ended up having to go to Marvel to get interior work.
Right.
Gotcha. I mean, I did get like a Robin inventory story that thank God never printed. But it was like, if I did get a gig, it was like, this book isn't going to print for 7 months. Like the kids got more than enough time to do it. Like, so there were a lot of like probably jobs that needed a 2-3 month turnaround that they couldn't bother me with because it would interfere with DC licensing work. And so I probably lost a lot of opportunities from the licensing work, and the licensing work you got no credit for. And I the lettering department, I mean, it's good. I'm not knocking it, but like, you know, once you're in there,
it's tough to get out.
You're not going to get out, you know.
There were a couple of guys that I went to school that were in my year that got into the lettering department at Marvel or DC back when they had that.
Yeah,
I guess it was called a bullpen or whatever in Marvel, but and they kind of just, that's what they did for, you know, until I lost touch with them. But like, I don't know if you remember Jared Fletcher.
I think I do. He was in your
he
class.
won a whole bunch of
class. Was he in your class?
Yeah, he was in my class. He won a whole bunch of like lettering awards, Eisner Awards and stuff for like lettering.
Oh yeah. I'm not knocking that, but I don't know. It's like, to some people, the lettering stuff, it can be real easy money depending on how good and fast they are at it.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get into that, I mean, you know, you're either battling out an arm or elbow on a page, or you're just typing out a lettering font. It's like, some people are going to take the easy road.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and you were always somebody I always thought had quite a bit of talent at that school, because the way the school kind of worked, you might see, I don't know, like 2-3 people that were actually good in a class.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and Alex in his class was one of the shining stars that had like a style, but actually had storytelling abilities and stuff like that. Yeah. Whereas like some people would either have one or not the other. And
and I kind of have like a theory about, at least in my time at the school, or our time in the school, because my class was made up of a lot of young kids, you know, like straight out of high school, big comic book fans. And I was like older than the rest. You know, I was 24 when I started at the school, and I had already done college, like normal college, and like had like a regular job and all that stuff. So I took it really, really seriously. And then I noticed that a lot of those younger kids, like by the second year, they were gone, you know?
My year, and it was been before you ever.
You actually had a lot of talented people in your year.
But there was one guy you probably never saw, because he dropped out in like a month. He got like a Marvel. I want to say he got like one of the last Marvel scholarships. Mm-hmm. This guy portfolio looked awesome. I mean, he had these cool Darth Maul paintings and all of this shit. I mean, everybody's like blown away by this guy. He wins this Marvel scholarship, everything. He goes into his dorm and never comes out into his room at the mansion. He basically just hopped up on Ritalin the whole time, and then dropped out. Yeah, it is like the last scholarship Marvel ever gave out. Some kids just hopped up on Ritalin and stoned out his head the whole time. And he was a killer artist, but you know, that was the thing, is people can come in with natural talent, but if they're not going to work at it, then it doesn't matter. People will surpass them, and they'll just never get there.
The school accepted a lot of like people that weren't up to snuff too, though.
Yeah, but they kind of pressured people to drop out. At least my time there, because I remember Katie. It wasn't Katie Kubert. What was Debbie
Kubert?
Yeah, she pulled me into the office one time trying to push me out of the school. She's like, "You're just not showing up for class. You're this, you're that." Turn things around. So they did kind of pressure people to drop out. Early on, and Joe incentivized people to drop out, because you would get basically like a refund, I think, at the time.
Oh, really?
Like bit of the tuition if you dropped out in a certain amount of months. So I felt like that was his way of saying, yeah, we'll let some people in, but maybe they don't cut it. Because I saw some, you know, I still hung around the school there for a while, and would go in and speak to some classes and stuff every now and then. And I would see portfolios and stuff. And there was some kids that looked good or bad, but they get really good by the third year. And then some people that they go in looking one way and they come out looking the same way.
Yeah. So I think we know a guy like that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ryan. We're like taking over the show.
Sorry. Me and Alex
don't be sorry.
Me and Alex just haven't talked in forever. So
yeah,
that's probably why. But no, the school was notorious for that. Yeah. You know.
You got some super chats to read?
What's that, Alex?
You got some super chats to read, or
Oh yeah, I got a lot to get to actually. If that's okay with you.
Yeah.
No, okay.
No, we're hijacking this bitch.
Well, I just want to show this just in case there's anyone here, like for my audience, obviously, that maybe isn't that familiar with Shane and his work, you can go over to dc.com/talent/Shane-Davis. I'm going to bring that up right here. Here it is. You can go there and see his entire body of work at DC, including Batman Under the Red Hood. They turned that one into didn't they do an animated movie of that? They did
like at least two. And it's funny, every time they do it, they always animate the one scene that that I take a lot of pride in. That's like the Red Hood shooting an RPG rocket launcher at a building.
Mm-hmm.
In Black Mask running away. They always put that scene in every animated feature for some reason. It's a fun scene. It's just
cool,
waving with our RPG. And it's funny when they made the toy, the Bruce Timm toy, even though Bruce Timm never drew Red Hood, but they made a toy. If you look at that toy, he actually comes with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, that was the McFarland one. Oh, no, I think DC Collectibles did a version of him too. The animated, Jason Todd.
And I think I want to say McFarland also issued it. They both did one, but it's just funny that one scene with him with the rocket launcher still resonates today with people for some reason. It's just a funny scene.
Yeah. So you have this extensive background in the mainstream Marvel and DC.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I was coming in around the same time Dan was really getting in at DC.
Dan DiDio?
Yeah, and I don't know if I would have now. Yeah. Great. With the Frank Miller stuff or something else?
No, he's writing Flash Gordon miniseries that I'm doing the art for.
That's beautiful. Dan's a great guy.
Yeah, he is a really
my career kind of picked up a lot around the same time Dan started getting traction at DC. So because I think he was an editor on Superboy at first, and then he kind of moved on up. I don't know, it was editor in chief after Mike Carlin stepped down.
Yeah.
So I really wasn't getting much traction at DC until Dan kind of shifted in. I still got some fill-in work when Mike Carlin was the thing,
Yeah.
Which Mike wasn't bad. He was just very strict.
Yeah, he was kind of moody actually.
Mm-hmm. I remember his secretary
he's still there, but he's working more on maybe the movie side.
I think he went off. So when the studio split,
when they moved to
the West Coast thing, they basically moved him out into the animation, he's some supervisor in it. But you have to understand, Mike Carlin was the editor on probably the top-selling DC Comics book ever.
He did it all.
Well, in a way, I don't know. Nothing against Mike Carlin. I'm not really taking a shot. But I don't know if the company can't help but give him a position, because of that one Superman, the death of Superman. That was number one. I think that is the number one selling still to this day DC single issue comic.
Do you want to? I don't know how many in my audience are familiar with Comicsgate. I talk about it sometimes. We mostly keep it about toys, but do you want to go into why you left the mainstream and have started your own comic imprint, Nine Lives Comics?
Dude, it is such a complicated, simple but complicated story.
Mm-hmm.
I can try to spitball it out there, but it's going to some people, and it would really take even Ethan a little bit to back it up. But so it was probably around 2015. And I was thinking about this because I was having to go back through some old Facebook stuff. So I was going to do my own creator-owned book. I was coming off of working at Legendary,
the
movie company. So and I basically was I'm going to do a creator-owned book. So I had a hard time getting Image to even acknowledge me, as odd as it is. And that was hard to get through Eric Stevenson. So without naming names, there was some big Image founding creators I had to go through just to get my book approved at Image. And so I go in with Extend, and Eric Stevenson kind of jerks me around a little bit. But I get in. I end up, at Image Expo. I have Todd McFarlane coming up to my booth at San Diego Comic-Con to shake my hand. All of this stuff, which was one of my biggest career accomplishments to me, which is because I remember waiting in line for Todd to sign my Spawn action figure, which I have up somewhere, or I'd grab it. But so, you know, to him now come to me and shake my hand for going and doing a book of Image was like a really big life accomplishment for me. So my book is coming out, and all of a sudden I have people attacking me because I'm writing a woman, because I'm a white male, because I have a character that is gay in the book or hinted at being gay. And I'll bring that up in a minute, why I did that. Because a lot of people misrepresent what I was doing there. And at first Image was kind of like okay with it, but then it's like I basically found myself in comics when everybody was attacking, especially Image Comics, about representation of creators, not just characters, but creators needed to have representation, you know, more women in comics, more. Why is this stage of creators all white and male? Like there was literally a Bleeding Cool thing like that. And then later Bleeding Cool would start doing these ratio charts. How many creators are white? How many creators are women at Marvel Comics and stuff? And it was super weird. Later on in the book, my my bad guy in the book happens to be bullied and maybe homosexual and confused, and he almost becomes a school shooter, which today I look back at and I'm like, that kind of rings true in a lot of ways. Still, I kind of pointed at that, didn't I? It's like, and that's when Image internally started to not like me because they saw what I was doing with that character in the book, and then they kind of peeled off or pushing the book because they're like, what are you saying here? And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Confused individuals may do violent things. That's what I'm saying. So anyways, I found myself arguing with identity politics on online and having to try to, and SJWs, like in some of these, I can't remember their name, but Ethan remembers them. And they were just these personalities that pop up behind the avatar. And I was basically in a Facebook group of all these DC artists and in writers in there too, like some people like Scott Snyder, Rob Liefeld would be in there. Dave Johnson, Coley Hamner, different people. And I would get kicked out of this group basically because people were bitching about Ethan. And they were talking like, oh, Ethan said this over there. DC shouldn't give him more work. I don't remember what Ethan had said. I think he said something to a fan. But basically, Trump had won the election. Okay, that's when all this kicked up. Now, I didn't ask to enter this group. Like, for people that remember Facebook days, like you could just look on your timeline. All of a sudden, you're seeing shit in your feed because somebody added you to a group. Yep. You know, people could just add you to a group. So I didn't even understand that. Now, at the same time, I'm in a Republican conservative group where Ethan's at. I'm in like two groups. On one side, they're bitching and trying to cancel Ethan. And I basically, I don't know, man. I guess I just didn't understand what was happening. You have to understand this was all in front of you. Hindsight, everything's clear. Yeah. But the comic industry really got polarized by the 2015, 2016 election. And I'm over here publicly saying on Facebook to the world and having conversations. I remember this last night with Chris Cross, that I never knew he was black, nor did I care. I'm saying this publicly. I was like, dude, I bought your book Slingers because I thought it was cool. I didn't care you were black. And I was like, I'm like, you know, this whole creator and representation and character and the creators have to match the color. I'm like, I'm having full arguments with people just publicly. I'm like, so how does that work? If there's a woman on the page, I have to pass the page to a woman to draw the woman. If there's a black guy, I need a black friend to draw that black guy in the corner box over here. Like, I'm like, where does this begin and end? And Chris Cross kind of got at me about it. And was like, bro, I bought your shit and I never knew your color. You know, I just up and said that to him. And and I didn't even understand like the landmine I was stepping on. And I'm getting kicked out of this group because they're trying to cancel Ethan. And I'm begging to get back in the group because I just think this is all super interesting. So I'm like, no, I promise I'll be good this time. And I think it was like somebody like Frank Terry had to get on the phone with me and talk to me for me to get back in the group. And he's laughing about me getting kicked out. I got kicked out of that group like 2 or 3 times because basically they were wanting to cancel Ethan from getting any work. And I'm like, guys, you do realize he's always going to get paid. And they're like, what do you mean? I remember Dave Johnson and Cap like, what do you mean, Shane? I'm like, because of royalties. They're not going to stop printing his book. What do you mean he's always going to get paid? And then I'm bounced out of there. And Coley Hamner's like, dude, you're rubbing people the wrong way. It's like, why? I mean, logically, what? You think they're going to quit printing this Green Lantern shit that's selling 1 million toys at DC Direct, that's selling fucking t-shirts, that we're getting checks for shit in video games, you idiot. Like, you know, I had Red Lanterns I'm getting paid for in video games, so I know damn well Ethan's getting paid for characters in video games. I'm like, they're not good. DC is not, for an SJW movement, going to quit producing any products based off these characters. They're not going to quit printing Jeff Johns books that he drew. I mean, and that infuriated. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And eventually something slipped out of that room about people wanting a picture of your boy Zach, and because they wanted to punch him at New York Comic Con. Now, that had happened in that room, and I said, what the fuck are you guys doing trying to incite violence at a con? I said, and I actually made the joke. I said, you go over here and somebody wants to try to get your boy Zach to throw a punch. What if somebody falls into, you know, you get some guy dressed up as Galactus falling into some kid dressed up as Spider-Man? I even made a joke in there. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're going to fuck cons up for everybody. And I again got kicked out for that, I think. So maybe that's my 3rd time. Months later, that screenshot slips out online, and I have I can't remember the creator because I looked it up the other day, and his name always slips my mind. And I think he was a letterer, but he started writing some Wolverine stuff. I want to say his name was Bryson or something, or I don't know. It doesn't matter. He's yelling at me, accusing me publicly on my Facebook timeline because I shared an article. I think it was a Bounding in Comics article, that I was a mole.
B. Claymore.
He's yelling at me saying I am a mole in this group, that I'm out here fucking that group up. And and I'm like, no, I was kicked out on that one post, that screenshot. I wasn't in that fucking group for months. And they're like, okay, I guess you're right. I'm like, yeah, I will get off my fight. He's like, well, can you take your post down off of Facebook? I'm like, no, you guys shouldn't be trying to incite violence at a con. He's like, yeah, but you're helping Comicsgate out. And I'm like, and I would find myself, say, like that year at San Diego Comic Con, and I'd just be in like a, I don't know, where everybody's drinking at the bar, right? People are having drinks. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden I'm talking to people I've known for years at cons, and they'd be like, well, you need to disavow Comicsgate. And everybody gets quiet. You know, we went from level 8 conversation to level 11. And I'm like, you just announced that to the room, and everybody just kind of, I felt everybody looking, and I'm like, what the fuck? That was happening to me a lot in public, in Facebook groups like this. You need to disavow Comicsgate. It wasn't enough that you're not Comicsgate, you have to disavow them. And I was just like, you guys are fucking crazy. You know, I'm like, a customer's a customer was my attitude at the time. Now, you know, I grew up like conservative Republican, you know, like, so like, and I also kind of grew up like, don't talk politics, don't talk religion, it's bad for business. And that's not the world we live in today, unfortunately. You know, everything's polarized. I got caught up in comic. It's weird. I was telling Ethan that they were doing this in like another, I'm like, Ethan, you're trying to cancel you, you know? So in a way, I guess I was a mole in a comics group that I never asked to be invited to, you know. Right. And I kept going to the group because there was this one thread that I remember liking, and it would just be people posting artwork, and I'm going to leave some names out, whatever was half drawn on their table, right, that they couldn't show publicly. And I remember just seeing cool artwork being generated by these artists that I was either working around or same company, different company, but I knew who they were. Some people talking about, oh, I'm going to go do this gig. I'm excited. Some people bitching about their editors, but it was a nice little group at one time, and then they dissolved the group because they got found out. And it was a key players, and that's kind of how I ended up in the Comicsgate thing in a weird way. I remember Ethan saying, "Oh, Smiller," and I remember Ethan sending me a picture from Blood Honey, where it was like the I guess the apartment building that Salamandroid shoves his head through. Showing me what it looks like and how he's doing crowdfunding. I remember Mitch running Red Rooster and stuff, and I just told Ethan, my mom had gotten sick with cancer. She was terminal. I was like basically there for about 3 years. I was like a caregiver, and I was getting divorced. I was like, a lot of things were happening at once for me, and I just told Ethan, I was like, I have too much going on to get into crowdfunding. And it was weird at that time because basically it went from all of that stuff to big life changes where I couldn't take an assignment. Like I was like, my mom's situation was touch and go. So to take a deadline was really hard for me, a stern deadline. Yeah. And Dan was very respectful of that. And at the same time, DC Comics was double shipping everything with Rebirth, right? Which was even worse now for me to take some, because Dan's like, we need to get you back on. I need you to be part of Rebirth starting at the beginning. And we're double shipping and we have to do it. And that's when I knew the market was in trouble, that DC Comics was having to do Rebirth. They were having to double ship. And I just told Dan, like, look, this is private information. Nobody knows this yet, but this is my mom's situation. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to take an assignment because I don't know what's happening 3 months from now. I mean, the doctors were never like, she's got 3 years to live. They were like 6 months, another 6 months, 6 months. And then eventually 6 months became 3 years, So and he was respectful of that. And he's like, don't worry about it. We'll get you on some covers and we'll do some one shots, which I did. I did a New Gods one shot I wrote and drew. I did like a Commandi issue, and I did a Catwoman election night special, which I never ceased to get shit from people because I drew a Trump penguin. Even though I drew a villainous Hillary Clinton, it didn't matter. Didn't matter. I get shit for that. And that was another place I ended up being Comicsgate, because I started fighting with some people, SJW Spider-Man and stuff on Twitter.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah. And he is like, well, you need to do more political comics. I'm like, well, did you read my last political comic? He's like, no, what is it? And I'm like, here, the election night special. He's like, well, I didn't know it exists, but I'll read it now. And you should do more They were literally coming at me. Why aren't you being a political mouthpiece for comics? Which meant hate Comicsgate. It was like a whole fucking thing. And I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, it was weird. It was weird. The whole thing was weird. And it was, but anyways, back to Ethan. I was like, I can't do crowdfunding because my life's so fucking messed up. I wouldn't know what to tell people when the book's coming out. It's like, I got all this going on at home, my mom and the caregiver. I can't be doing crowdfunding. So I basically didn't go to crowdfunding for quite some time, even though I was watching the kind of Comicsgate forming, even though it was already a thing before.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It was like I was just mixed into the events that have us where we are. Yeah. So and I was really, oddly enough, just trying to get along with everybody. I wanted everybody to get paid. I wanted everybody to get better things in comics. I told Rob about equity at DC Comics. He didn't know. I told David Finch about it. He didn't know. They need to apply for these things so they get paid, and hopefully David did, because they did use that bunny chick in Peacemaker. So it's like I was just pro creator, and somehow I ended up just on a people's shit list.
Yeah. So were you were like officially maybe not officially on the books blacklisted, but you were effectively blacklisted from DC?
No, Dan kind of kept me in the mix, but so this is when I realized I was canceled. Dan's like, you need to get over the thing with your mom. You got to live your life. And this had been going on for maybe 2 years. And he meant it in the best way possible. He's like, you got to get back on the ball. You know, you can't, you know, just let your life go by, you know. And he's like, I want you to go on it was a Batman book. And he's like, I want you to take this Batman book and we're going to do as many issues as you can get done. So don't give me the excuse, I don't know what's going on in your personal life, because if you can only do 2, you do 2. If you can do 8, you do 8. But just take it and run. And there were other people at DC Comics that were well aware of this book. Hank Knowles was one of them. A really good guy. He came from Wildstorm. And they're like, well, the writer, which will go not named here, is busy with this other book that's a big book at DC Comics. And keep in mind, Dan's putting me on this, and I think he's co-publisher at this time with Jim Lee. And it's kind of muddy what Dan was, because Dan never took his foot out of the department he came from. So Dan was always Dan, even if his title changed. He was still kind of operating as editor-in-chief, even if it was Bob Harris there. Dan, everything still was very much Dan. So this Bat book, they're like, well, the writer's busy. Here's an inventory issue. And they were gauging me, and I had to ink myself. I had to get this issue done in a certain amount of time, with notes. They wanted layouts. I'd give them my layouts. I'd follow the layouts. I'd do the changes, everything, made the deadline. I want to say I did the whole book, pencils and inks, and it's never printed to this day. And probably like 4.5 weeks, and a cover. And I'm like, okay, so where's the script for the next issue? And he's like, it's coming. And I'll name this guy. Rob Levin was the editor, who's now the editor of the Bat Group, the guy that kind of signed off on the Red Hood book that had to get pulled. He got fired in between this, by the way, or left the company. But anyways, back to where I'm at in this timeline. Rob's writes me an email when I'm looking for script about a month later. So I've had, I'm supposed to be on this book. We're losing a month on the deadline. They've signed me up for 8 issues of this Batman run, by the way. They have one done. That's the inventory for whenever we get behind a single issue that still hasn't printed. And I go, hey, anything about that script? And he writes me an email about his dog getting attacked the day before walking, and how he had to take it to the vet and everything. And I'm like, I write him back. I'm like, man, that really sucks. But any news on that script?
Yeah.
and a day goes by, no response. The second day, I'm thinking, okay, well, the script's probably getting together, because it's, somebody else's responsibility. And I get a phone call, and he's like, hey, Shane, this is Rob. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? He's like, you got time to talk? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I just want you to know I've went through the entire DC offices, and me and you aren't seeing eye to eye. And I've before you go to anybody else, I went through every chain of command, and you're being fired.
Wow.
And I'm like, but we have an agreement. I'm like, I've actually literally turned down some other work and cleared my schedule, because Valiant was trying to hire me also on an Exo Manowar thing. And I'm like, I've actually turned down work for this agreed, like we have paperwork. He's like, I know, but I went through all the channels and in the offices, and I fired you. And I remember going to Dan, I remember going to Larry Gannum, and they're telling me to write specific emails to him. But in the end, Dan kind of said, like, you have to understand, if I need the editors to do my books, so it wasn't a lot Dan could do. And I'm like, the fuck is going on here? An editor at DC Comics basically told me it's because I had posted a picture of me in 2016 I took a selfie with a Trump bus, and had posted online. And it's like, wow. And what it was, he had spoke, I think, in Charlotte. And it was at my local Walmart, and there was a KFC. And that was fucking Trump sitting outside KFC eating fucking chicken in a bus. I was like, I gotta take a picture of this. And I never would have thought, you know, me showing support for Donald Trump would mean that years later I would be fired, and not just fired, but made sure everybody in the DC Comics office knew I was not to be hired again.
Yeah.
And that fucking ruined me, because all it took was that happening at DC Comics, and all of a sudden Marvel doesn't want to fuck with me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, eventually, and I mean, dude, it sucked. I was doing commissions, whatever I could do to get by. My mom died shortly after that.
Sorry about that.
And yeah, it's fine. I mean, I was getting married. My wife, we had just made the decision that she would become a U.S. She would come to the U.S. and be a citizen, go through the proper channels, by the way, and be, and process through the first Trump administration. Because it was either an option. I'm either going to Singapore or she was coming here. And we made the decision for her to come here. I think I'd just gotten remarried when I got fired too. So it was just like fucking horrible. Yeah. And it was, and he knew all of this, by the way. He would eventually leave DC for whatever reason. He wasn't exactly liked up there, but now he comes back up there, and all of a sudden Absolute Batman has Absolute Batman versus White Supremacist one shot getting ready to come out. The Red Hood issue where the writer on that book was talking about killing ICE agents, police officers, FBI across the board months before the book got pulled. So I don't know. Like people say, how did I get in the Comicsgate? It's like this shit kind of formed around me. It was I feel like I'm a product of my environment.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that that Red Hood book where they were killing police and how that was pulled. Lord of Brooklyn BK for life said, and don't worry guys, I'm gonna get to all the super chats here real quick. So Shane, what do you think of DC firing Gretchen Felker Martin for her despicable comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination?
So it's weird you brought up the Red Hood stuff. So when I was working on the Red Hood stuff, there was a point where the editors wanted Red Hood to be his own character. Okay. And now that makes sense. You've seen Red Hood in the Outlaws and whatever, but they actually just wanted a Red Hood Jason Todd book where he was the Punisher for DC Comics. That was the pitch. He was just going to be a guy with guns that goes after mob guys that fuck with kids, whether they sell drugs to kids or anything with kids. Like Jason Todd was going to go after those mob guys, and that it was just going to be Punisher at DC Comics. So I kind of have a history with that character. That character's the reason me and my wife are even together, because I worked on that character, is how we met, because she was a fan. That's why my daughter exists. When I was at DC Comics, I'm really trying to let you understand. Paul Levitz wouldn't let an artist in that same book, Under the Hood, he drew Batman picking up a gun by the barrel, by the handle, and Paul, editors made him change it. Paul was so strict that Batman couldn't pick a gun up by the handle. It had to be the barrel, because he didn't want one panel being taken out of context that would harm the character. Right, a whole different attitude at DC Comics. The fact that DC Comics, well, how do I feel they fired Gretchen? That guy should have never been hired, and even there should have been an alert that book needed to be pulled before it ever saw print, because of just the interviews and the propaganda that they said they were going to do months before the book ever printed. I don't understand how it got to print. You have to understand, I've been in the office so much at DC Comics. There's people that I've seen them bring, not even editors, like somebody like Ian Sattler, they bring the book in a paper and they sign off on the book. Like there was a paper trail of people signing their name for this book to And then in the preview pages online, there's cops holding guns to their head. Like, and this is going through that guy I'm talking about, Rob Levin. I don't think DC did the right thing in firing Gretchen. Exactly. Like, firing them isn't the issue. The person hiring them is the issue. Mm-hmm. And it's like you're trying to put a bullet or a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. The wound is still open. You didn't fix the problem. The problem is the person that went out of the way. I mean, just the fact that this writer made a death threat on the Harry Potter writer, Rawlings, right?
Rowling, J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling, right? Mm-hmm. How much money they made for Warner Brothers? And you're going to seek this person out and then hire them for a fucking book that you have to recall? Yeah. Like, I mean, how much money has she made for Warner Brothers? I mean,
billions.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, when I was at DC Comics, DC editors got an extra day off just because the Harry Potter movie did so well in the box office. They get a Friday off. Like, the whole industry has lost any moral compass whatsoever. Like, and a lot of it's the leadership. I mean, if certain people were still in that office, like I drew a racy Red Lantern cover one time, a Sinestro Crucified. Johns wanted me to do it. The editors wanted me to do it. They even drew it in the interior issue. It made it to Mark Chiarello's desk, and he's like, "We're not printing that." And he's like, "Do roughs next time, Shane." And I'm like, "I did." He's like, "Okay, well, you need to send them to me because your editors didn't send them to me." And me and Mark are cool. To a point, you know, but at that time we were really cool. I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's nobody safeguarding anything that company's putting out right now. The fact that book even made it to print is such a problem for that company because just the news cycle. It's not the book getting in people's hands necessarily. It's just, it makes world news. That's not good for the company.
Well, you got the inmates running the asylum.
Yeah, I mean, but there's no old guard there. There's nobody with any principles. I mean, Paul Levitz, and some people hated Paul for this, but in hindsight, you kind of have to respect it. He put the characters over the creators. And at the time, everybody hated it. That especially if you're a creator, you're like, "Fuck me, I want my name out there. I need my name in the lights, not Batman." But it's like, but if you do it the other way, and if it's creators over the characters, these legacy characters, right? Batman, whatever, then they're subjected to propaganda. Right. So Paul had it right, but for different reasons. He was just trying to protect the intellectual properties for Warner Brothers, or as a fan, he didn't want to see Superman get fucked up. He didn't want to see Batman get fucked up.
Yeah.
And there is nobody at that company right now that does anything like that.
Well, on to better things. I got this pulled up here. Let me share this. So you left the mainstream, and you started. Yeah. You Nine Lives Comics. This is your website, ninelivescomics.com. You're currently funding this book, Anatomic.
Yeah.
It's at 140,000. Do you have another stretch goal on this one?
If we can hit 140, we're at like 139. If we can hit 140, everybody's getting a free ash can that comes along with the book. It's a reprint of a old Anatomic origin story, which is great because a lot of people, we are completely sold out of that supplemental. So it gives people a way to get that. An ash can, it's going to be a smaller black and white comic, but you can still get that story without paying aftermarket prices for it. So every book backer is going to get that with a book backing, and all we got to do is hit 140,000. This is a prequel book, by the way, to Inglorious Rex. So if you guys are new to Inglorious Rex, then it's a great place to jump on. If you guys like Inglorious Rex and you haven't backed this, then it's another great place to jump on, because it basically, this book will take you up until about, it's like 2 years out from the first book, so for people who know what Inglorious Rex is, it's my Kaiju monster martial art book. Sorry, tongue-tied there. It's a great book. If you like Kaiju, if you like boxing, that's what it's about. We got a little promoter, a little tea. We have back issues that ship out next day. So it's we try to make it accessible to new people, so you can get like stuff from our store and it ships out, next day from previous books.
What are your responsibilities? Are you doing all the artwork, including like the colors, writing it?
No, I'm writing. So Inglorious Rex, I'm writing, drawing, and obviously editing and stuff like that. My wife inks, and then I go over the inks a bit.
Oh, really?
But, yeah. So Yancy inks and co-writes. So was
she an artist? Or is this something that
fan artist? She was a fan artist in Singapore. She was part of a comic arts community over there too, and she was a bigger DC fan than I was. Like she had all these like Gil King, Green Lantern comics and shit. Like I never really got that big into Gil King, but she was like a hardcore DC Comics fan. So there was like this, it was kind of like a club / school comic art community thing. And, they had some cons over there too in Singapore, I guess. But she just started working on the inks when I was still working on Metalman and stuff. And, she would help me out because I had to take over ink duties on it. And I was like, wow, let's make a crowdfunded book with Starlight Cats. And she inked that with me. And, we've been working together on inks ever since. So she helps out a lot. She does about 90% of it. I still ink myself on covers and stuff, but it's saving some life on my eyes. I cannot do everything.
Yeah. What kind of traditional inks, digital inks?
Yeah, traditional. Now Anatomic though, I'm not the artist on. This book right now, I'm only the writer and co-writer and art director. So we have Anthony Gonzalez Clark doing the main book. So
who is awesome.
Yes.
His art's amazing.
Yes, his art style fits the kaijus and the fighting really well. Like, because he has I don't want to speak for him. I don't know if he's a big manga fan, but he has kind of like an anime-esque vibe to him. Not a manga vibe exactly, but more of an anime vibe. So it's just worked into his style. So it really works with all the movement and fighting in the book really well. And then we have Aaron L. Fetchy also working on the supplemental. So I'm blessed with really great artists in this book. And it's really come together really well. So I've been working on this probably, I want to say, I don't know, has it been over a year? Like I kind of cooked this story up when I did the first Inglorious Rex. I was like, Alex, he's sworn against Rex fighting, because his brother died in the ring. His girlfriend is a big, prominent female Rex fighter. And he's got to make a name for himself because he doesn't have a name. He's given this opportunity for a revenge match. So I kind of set up this foundation, which is Anatomic, but I never told that story of which is in some ways is completely different, but more interesting than in Inglorious Rex story. Inglorious Rex story ends up outside the city, why they build Rexes to protect the city from these creatures outside the vial. But the Anatomic book is all about the promotional circuit, how manipulative Little T is, all of that stuff. Alex and her relationship, like this is raw after his brothers died, and he's told his dad he wouldn't be a Rex fighter. But that doesn't mean he's not going to help Anatomic train to be a Rex fighter. So now he's involved. And then, Little T asking Anatomic, hey, you need to take a dive. What if she doesn't? He's kind of mobbed up. What does that mean for Alex? What does that mean for anybody? So I built all this up and I was like, I should do a story about this. Like I should do this. It was just basically the foundation for Inglorious Rex 1. So I'd already had it built up and I was like, maybe we'll just do this book. Anthony had done some fan artwork. I hired him for a cover. I was like, you want to do this? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, boom, we got Anatomic.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've read the Inglorious Rex books. That you got 2 out so far. Really fun story, really cool story. The twist at the end of book 1 was really cool. Really enjoyed them. I'm looking forward to Anatomic. Like you said, it's at 139,269 right now. If it gets up to 140, you're unlocking an ash can, which will be included. It would be awesome if we could do that tonight during this show. We'll see, but I think we could do it.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, man.
Let's do it. No, dude, we're really blessed with this. I'm going to pull it down mid-October. So, guys, make sure to grab a copy. The supplemental is great. Plus, I'm doing my first ever line artwork edition of my artwork. I've never, DC, all the stuff I've done at DC and Marvel, I've never had a line artwork edition. So there is a hardcover line artwork edition that's on this campaign you can purchase. And if you've already backed, if you're signed in, basically you're able to go to our add-on section and you'll find a discounted shipping to add on to your already existing order. So you guys have up until probably about the middle of October.
Thanks to Katie did. Well, we do have the link pinned in the chat here. You can click on that, check it out. Also, the Inglorious Rex books are available if you are new to this and you want to read those first. They're on the site. They're $25. They're not little floppies. How many pages? 48?
No, we promised 48, but they always go over. I want to say to like 60 something. Yeah. I mean, we end up like adding a bit more pages. Perfect bound, except for the supplemental. No, even some of the supplementals are perfect bound. So high grade paper, we go as high as we can get without it feeling like they're slates of stone you're turning. Like, I mean, we the best printing we can, Jason Wright colorist, it prints beautifully, and we do like some special covers sometimes, like a spot gloss, glow in the dark. You just have to follow the campaign, hollow foil type things. So we did that in the previous Inglorious Rex 3 campaign, if you guys supported that. Also 232 beast modes in this campaign, which is drawn by Anthony. So we're giving people another crack at that. And this campaign, we're already going through the lettering stages, and we want to get this off to print by the end of this year and in the fulfillment January.
All right. Awesome. January. That's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shane, how do you feel about your
Alex, real quick?
Yeah.
Save that question. I got to get to the chat. We got a lot of super chats here.
Yeah.
First of all, Charles Young, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Now that you are a channel member, you can stay tuned for the after show. I do about another hour to 2 hours after the main show here, just for channel members. If you want to become one, hit that join button down below. Thank you. Drew, thanks for dropping links in here. Clone Shane Davis, I would have co-hosted if asked. I'm something of a comic and toy expert myself. We are going to talk about toys in a minute here.
No,
we gotta, because that's a 3POA. Katie did. She says, "Hail CG chat, Laser Pants and Alex." Thank you, Katie. Good seeing you here. And yeah, I did give her a wrench, so she's dropping links for us along with Drew G. Thank you so much. Zakanan, thank you. For $6.66, he says, "Hail Shane, Alex. Also, are we deleting Woden Shot comments unless he super chats?" Okay, thanks. Bye. I think he actually got a little upset last night. I think so. No, don't delete anything from Woden Shot if he's here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got Hail all new here. Baller sent me. Hail Brodog. Thank you, Bub66. Real quick, Blake wants to know what pinball machine you got behind you.
Oh, Godzilla pinball, which my backers bought me.
They did. You're welcome.
Wow.
People don't know. I said if Inglorious Rex 3 hit $300,000, and Inglorious Rex 2 hit $258, I said I would buy this pinball machine. I was oogling on stream. I said on stream I was watching these videos like, this pinball machine changed my life. I saw it at the ice cream parlor. I was like, it changed my life. I didn't even know. And the chat said, you get 300, you buy that.
Yeah.
I was riding up Alex on $299, smooth $299. It's like, let's cut it. We're done. That's it. Nobody
Shut
else
it down.
Shut it down.
Close it.
And they're like, no, 301, motherfucker. And the chat pulled. They reached down in my pocket and they pulled $12,000 out. They're like, no, bitch, you. They thought
Yeah.
I was like, and it's now like a lot of people hate it.
Yeah, well, forget those guys. Those guys are idiots.
Yeah.
The pinball machine is cool, and your customers demanded it, and who are you to say no to your customers? So there you go.
Well, if the pinball, I couldn't get the dumbed down version. I had to get the tricked out one. I had to get the topper. They're like, no, you have to get these fucking button guards here. It's like a ridiculous tricked out thing. If they have rims for this thing, I'd have to get it.
Greedy Two Shoes, thank you. He says, Alex, did you draw Katana for the new 52?
I did. Yeah. I did.
That was him. Katie Did is here. Thanks for the 2. She says, I've been looking forward to this show all day. Me too. Thank you, Katie. Mange Truck Cappy Davis says, have Katie Did link the PTP crayons pencils down video. Well, I got that pulled up if you guys want to watch it real quick.
Oh, God.
It's not very long, but it is. Listen, it's hilarious, and we got to talk about PTP a little bit. I mean, that's why Shane is here. Really,
that's why you drug me.
I mean,
you just John Dong boxed me like that.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm even on your radar, is what I'm saying. But okay, so let's check this out. And you guys watched this the other night.
Well, that's me. That's us.
Yeah, it is, and it's me when I was a whole lot fatter.
All the energy out of his friends.
Wait, is the volume on?
In order to prop himself up and make himself look better.
So everyone just said pencils down. Everyone just stopped drawing. Pencils down was a big thing.
That pencil drawing. Can you roll back the actual pencil he was drawing? That was a rainbow.
Pretty accurate.
Down. Everyone just stopped drawing. Pencils down was a big thing.
Look at the tattoos on his hands.
That's a fucking pencil from a Hello Kitty.
Yeah, that's like a 99-cent store pencil.
That's not doctored, is it? Is that doctored?
No, that's real. That's what the pencil he's drawing with. Like, just so you understand, like, that's a pencil for writing in school. Like, that lead is not useful for drawing. Like, that is not a drawing implement.
Can we watch that again?
Yeah, we're gonna. Hold on a second.
Artist sucks
There's more to
all
it.
the energy out of his friends in order to prop himself up and make himself look better.
So everyone just said pencils down. Everyone just stopped drawing. Pencils down was a big thing.
No,
that wasn't even a thing, really.
Just over the years. If I make a hand,
he's got Hello Kitty on the back of his hand and
crayons. Even though these are rough and they're pretty tight, I kind of.
Anyway, okay, we get the point. We get the point. You guys can check that out later. But I mean, could you imagine, like, you're in your 40s trying to break into the comic industry still, and you got legends like Dale Keown, Van Sciver, like, making fun of you on a live stream. Oh my God, it's gotta hurt. But he deserves it.
Yep. You can build up a nice big mattress of denial and sleep on that, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's Chad is here. What's up, Chad? He says, can I get a hiya? There you go. Thanks for being a member for 24 months. Michael Jones, thanks for being a member for 11 months. He says, let's get these likes to match the viewers. It's free $99 to hit the like button. Yeah, please hit the like button. We do have 426 watching right now between YouTube and Twitter. Thank you so much. Hit the like button. Also, if you're on mobile, scroll over. There's a hype button. Hit that too. I guess that really helps channels. So
yeah, that's a new thing they built, but they also kind of screwed up the algorithm. So I don't know.
They did. Yeah, trust me.
It's like they go to fix one thing or add one thing, then they fuck something else up. It's like, wow.
Also, I'm just going to plug this channel. We're almost at 8,000 subscribers, which would be great if we hit it tonight. We just need 7 more subs to hit 8,000. So please do subscribe if you're new. Impossible Pie, thanks for the $5. He says, you guys ever attempted to go to Image and do your own creations because of all the BS you have to deal with at Marvel and DC, or Image has the same BS?
That's what I was talking about earlier on.
Yeah, I probably just want to do my own thing.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Impossible Pie. Yellow Martian says hello from Saudi Arabia again. What's up, man? Good to see you here. I got to that one. Mrs. LP. Shout out to the lovely Mrs. LP. I bet Shane and Alex won't mind the ridiculous party music and glasses when you get to a super chat. Well, we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, don't do that though, chat, please.
Don't listen to Alex. Okay, Eric Alfred Abel, thanks for the $5. He says, careful with that con violence, fellas. You might get rolled in the kill zone. Yeah. Thank you, Eric.
When I saw the replay, I kind of cringed, like just listening to myself talk about that shit and how I was gonna do this and that.
I will cut him up.
No, not that one. Not the effeminate one. The last one. But just I don't know. You know, everyone's a keyboard warrior. But,
yeah. I mean, listen, you're not going to Legion's Con. There's not going to be any.
No.
You wouldn't do any violence. So.
No.
All right, Scott Hughes, thanks for the 5. He says, starting the ball rolling for showing support to 3POA for getting the great guests. Thank you, Scott. Keep it going. Also, Wolverines. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you, buddy. Robert's Infinite Realm says, to clarify, Martin was actually fired for saying she didn't think cops were not human the same day of the Kirk comments. The Kirk comments made it worse. Oh, okay.
Well, that's the issue is, wait, are they talking about the DC?
Yeah. The Red Hood thing.
Yeah. But there was like a paper trail of like shit that, I mean, that the writer also like said nice things about Bin Laden and 9/11. Jesus. Like I'm not even making that up. It's like, how does a parent company like Warner Brothers? I mean, nobody vetted that. You can literally Google them and find this article like of radical tweets and death threats, to people that major companies shit tons of money. It made a fucking theme park for Warner Brothers. Basically, it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I don't know. That's what I'm like. That was obviously a propaganda hire. That was they were hired for those bad takes. And dude, whenever I would work on a DC project and I would do like an interview, right, for say like Newsarama or whoever, right, it could be anybody. DC Comics went through the interview and they would edit it, and I'd be like, I didn't say that, and like, yeah. So like there's supposed to be somebody at DC Comics that saw her interview saying, yeah, we're going to kill police, we're going to kill FBI, we're going to kill ICE. Like, it's like, the fuck?
Unreal.
Wow.
Okay, let's get back to the chat. Oh, we got Robert Diaz. That's where I left off.
Oh no.
Thank you, Robert. He says, I was never much of a DC guy when I heard Superman got assaulted in the pooper in a comic. I felt bad for his fan base. I hope that editor got fired. What?
What is it? I never.
What?
Assaulted in the pooper?
Did that actually happen?
It was hinted at that he got raped. They didn't show it, but it was hinted at that he was kind of beaten and something shoved up his ass.
Oh my God. I didn't. Jeez. Bullet says even Disney tried to steal from Shane's ideas with Starlight Cats. Did they?
Yes, I actually had to. I can't really talk about it exactly.
Yeah, don't.
But there was lawyers and Sony and Disney got involved.
Wow.
I can tell you off air.
Okay. Then we got Goody Two Shoes. Thanks for the 5. Alex, say hi, Comicsgate, and start making comics with us over here. One of us. I mean, you are an illustrator. Like, you even label yourself as an illustrator now.
Yeah. I never liked, even from the offset, I never liked just labeling myself as a cartoonist or a comic book artist. I mean, because besides the fact that I did a whole bunch of other stuff, besides comics, and still continue to do a whole bunch of other stuff, like murals and video game storyboards and small movie house storyboards and a whole bunch of newspaper stuff. So I never liked to just like advertise myself as that. But hi Comicsgate, hi Mandy Summers. I'm a fan. Have been a fan for a while.
I have talked to you about crowdfunding before, and you're just not interested in it right now.
Yeah, it's just like the fulfillment part of it is it's a lot of work.
Have you heard of Ripascend? No, I'm kidding.
No, I'll be honest. It is a lot of work. A lot of people, a lot of guys in comics. That's the one thing that they're they're afraid of is the fulfillment part, and there is no easy way around it unless you have an Asian wife that already was doing fulfillment. Then it's just like she already knew what she was doing. But
really good at math too.
Yeah,
so,
she's really good, really good at
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about some. Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I have ideas, but just not right now. I have, someday when the timing's right.
All right, cool. Let's get into I got some toy news here that I want to. Now, well, first, Shane, you're a comic artist. I mean, you got shelves of comics back there. You got some toys back there. Like, what are you into collecting? Just like action figure wise, statue wise, what are you into?
Dude, the one thing, and I started off just getting the characters I wanted, and then that just went into the whole entire thing. And now I'm even stuff I had bought that was exclusive and I sold, I'm like having to go back and rebuy now just because I'm trying to complete it. Is the G.I. Joe classified line.
Oh,
I'd gotten that. It pissed me off too. I was like, I think it was the Snake Eye, no, Storm Shadow Amazon exclusive snow outfit.
Oh,
that looked really gay. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'll just get it and flip it. And then later on, I'm like having to rebuy that bitch back for a shit ton more just because I'm like, I need this set. I'm hanging in there on it. And I'll tell you why is because, I mean, I in New Jersey, I would end up shopping at Funny Books. Obviously, Alex remembers. And a lot of Cornboy from Four Horsemen would go there. And I want to say like Dorklair, maybe.
Oh, yeah, the YouTuber
in the
guy,
shop. Popped in the shop one time and I met him. I might be wrong on that, though. But anyways, I would end up, going to San Diego, and I always ended on the same flight with Cornboy, and he'd talk about whatever they were working on at the time, whether it was Ghostbuster figures or the Masters, the Motu stuff. And I'm talking early development. He was telling me about the extra pieces that were coming with Trapjaw and stuff to make a second figure. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And I remember buying that stuff, and I would open them up and just sit them out. And now I look back at it, I'm like, these things are worth. You can't even find these things on eBay in package still, really, especially if they have the Maddie symbol, the sticker where you got on the site. And I'm just like, I remember these things being everywhere at Comic Cons. Like you'd think these things were like Funko Pops, and now they're like rare. And I'm like, I see the prices, and I mean, I have all the figures I want, but they're open. And every now and then I'll lose a gun. I'm like moving and stuff. I lost like say Stinkor's gun or something. Like it drives me crazy, and I'm like, the G.I. Joe classified line is I'm trying to make up for me fucking opening those figures.
So you want like closed box versions of them? Like
yes, I have tubs of these things, and I want to say I have every now and then I'll skip a figure, but I pretty much have and I got in early on it, so I'm not having to spend aftermarket prices on that stuff. But it is such a pain. I don't know if you guys keep up with that, but way Hasbro dumping like Walmart canceled my crystal ball order. That fucking drove me crazy.
They do that. They cancel a lot of stuff.
It makes me want to burn my collection at the same time. That shit, like it just like motherfuckers. And then you guys saw what they did with was it Flint with the card back?
There's a 82 variant, like limited to 82 versions variant with just the card art. Because the first card art they did was AI generated. It was painfully obvious because Flint had 6 fingers on one hand.
Yeah,
and it just looked weird. He had a really skinny neck. It looked odd. It was AI. And so I don't know if that's why they're like coming out now with this 82 card variant, like Chase variant. There's only 82 of them.
And you have to order them from Hasbro. If you order them from anywhere else, then you don't qualify.
Right.
And it's like the odds of even getting it, and it's the same figure. It's just a card variant. It's like if you guys are about to do that, you could technically. That's not good. Like, I don't know what's going on with Hasbro. I know Hasbro sales are whatever, they have their problems, but they don't seem to meet the demand for G.I. Joe, and ever have met the demand for it. And I'm like, I don't know why your priorities aren't more focused on this and not Star Wars.
Man, you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
Like my buddy Chad is a hardcore G.I. Joe collector. He's on YouTube. It's Chad. But he's been saying the same thing for years. And Hasbro will drop G.I. Joe at the drop of a hat. I mean, they'll just end it. You know,
Yeah.
They put all this effort in. I mean, what 130 Marvel Legends every year.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't. From what Bobby has said and from what Chad has said, you know, with talking to former Hasbro employees that worked on the original G.I. Joes in the 80s, Hasbro doesn't like the war thing anymore.
Yeah.
They want to get away from it, but
years back, I talked to him about that, maybe 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
He told me the same exact thing.
And G.I. Joe fandom is a lot smaller than Marvel and Star Wars still. Even though we see Marvel and Star Wars figures hanging out on pegs and peg warming.
Yeah, but I mean, think about the
production numbers.
They pay.
Yeah. I mean, the production numbers aren't even close.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some Marvel stuff they make 100,000 units of one figure, 100,000. G.I. Joe's nowhere close to that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I see you have some
intellectual property that comes back. I think there's a video game they're developing, a shooter game. I've seen.
Really?
Yeah, they came out with the side-scrolling one.
No, this is like a shooter like Metal Gear type back shot shooter. I remember seeing some footage of like a few months back. Like one of these G.I. Joe channels were talking about it. It was just Snake Eyes kind of rolling around shooting. So because Hasbro's trying to get more into gaming, I guess.
Yes.
That's
the CEO Chris Cox, he is I don't know. He came from a different industry, and he has said publicly he wants to go more into digital content, which I think means like phone apps, like Monopoly and.
That's not good.
And
well, there's a lot of money in games. So like, I have equity in DC characters. So like, if there's a toy, I get paid. If they're in a TV show, I get paid. If they're in a video game, I get paid. And the highest thing I've ever gotten paid. Now, I've never had a character in a movie. You know, I have had them in animated movies like Lego movies or cartoon shows like Justice League Adventure. But my highest paycheck is always video games. Because video games, you know, they usually have a $60, $70 in case of Mario Kart 2. I guess it's like a $90 walk-in just for the game. And then they have all the DLC content, right? So like people, I mean,
$120.
Yeah, just for a skin or something, right? Or a new stage or whatever. And like the video game stuff, even Dan at one time was saying you guys make too much money on video games. It's just crazy. But it's the ratio is just there. It's just people spend more money on games. That's why Hasbro's going to it.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean they got to be careful though too, because a couple of bad video games, flopping games, and that company business, man.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
they also avoid tariffs. You know, making video games, you don't got to ship figures over, and the rising cost of that because of all that. But
and a lot of games now are just downloadable. It's not even like the disc. It's weird. Like the disc just unlocks the game to be downloaded. There's no game on the disc. So.
Oh my God! Look at this! Look at this, guys. We just hit 8,000 subscribers.
Stupid glasses.
Right here. This is for you, Alex. Thank you so much, hooligans and everyone, for 8,000 subscribers on the 3POA podcast. Finally, Alex turned his camera off because he's very embarrassed. But that's okay. I'm going to keep going. 8,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, everybody, hooligans. You guys rock. We love you. All right, let's keep going. Alex, come back. Alex, come back.
Alex was asking me what was on my shelf. Like,
I see back there you've got some. I think that's Gigan.
I'm a huge.
You've got the pinball, Godzilla. So I assume even your comic is something about big monsters and kaiju. So how big a kaiju Godzilla fan are you?
Pretty big, but it's you know, my kaiju book, even though it's kaiju, I kind of was a bigger fan of things like Macross.
Of course.
Back in the day, and I always liked the whole pilot guiding a giant robot, whether it's Gundam or whatever, Evangelion, whatever. And I was like, I'm like, how do I put a twist on that? Because to me, is like robots are always like, they get their arm busted. It's like that's expensive to fix. But if it was a living thing, then it could just regenerate, with an immune system. And that got stuck in my head. And over years, I created Inglorious Rex in the back of my head. So, but because it's basically like the Rex is the Kaiju, they basically take, spoiler alert, DNA from creatures outside the city and they mix it with fighters' DNA, and they basically have these embryos grown. Here's like 232 there. Based off of a fighter and hit. Well, there he is, little 232 baby. What a boy he is.
Nice.
But and then the fighters their neural systems, their sensory and stuff, they kind of plug into them. So because their DNA is similar, they're able to control them. And I just started
from a cockpit on their back.
Yeah, they have like a little port on the back, which is how Alex's brother died. He got hit, and a Rex he was fighting took an illegal hit and hit the cockpit. So I kind of just, everything kind of gelled on this book, like everything I liked about Rocky, everything I liked about martial arts, everything I liked about Kaiju. So Gigan, like one of my Rexes, kind of has some similarities. Razor, the Anatomics, kind of has a beak a lot like Gigan. Gigan's my favorite Kaiju design.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Like the old school version one, or maybe
yeah. So,
yeah.
Hey, Alex, do you have your Godzilla versus Megazord or Dragonzord cover handy?
I could probably share it if I knew how.
Down below, there's a little square with a plus. You just hit that, you can share it. Because it's cool, man.
But Gigan's great with the buzzsaw belly and everything. It's just something retarded and cool about that at the same time. There was also that Thundercats bad guy with the pirates that he had a wheel on his stomach. Remember?
I don't. I wasn't really a Thundercats guy, but
he had like that zip cord you could pull and he'd roll on the floor.
I had the one with like the saw blades all over him. That's the only one.
Oh, that's Buzzsaw from Silverhawks. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's Silverhawks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to talk a little toy news here.
Feel old here.
You're not that much older than me. I'm 40. Well, I'm almost 44 now.
Ryan's a millennial.
Yeah. I want to get into some toy news here and get your thoughts on it, Shane. McFarland is making DC toys. He has been for 5 years. He's about to lose the license back to Mattel. But right now, he decided to start up another crowdfunder with a Harley Quinn action figure.
From the Suicide Squad?
From the Suicide Squad. It's really
out of left field.
To me, it is, yeah. There's several different levels, but it's the movie Harley Quinn, which if you've ever been in the mall and walked past the Hot Topic, you think that would just sell at retail. But he has decided to do a crowdfund on it. And it came in a little bit less than I thought it would. I thought it would be $50 for the base, but it came in at $35, which is the retail price for one of his figures. So I don't know why he's doing this. Is it just a marketing gimmick or what?
Well, is he running the crowdfund?
He is.
On what, Kickstarter?
Let's see here.
I can answer this real quick if I know.
Yeah. No, it's on his website.
Okay, that even makes more sense. I think it's a fishing tool. Like, I think he's fishing for DC customers and trying to get their information and emails.
Gotcha. Wow,
because he's losing the license.
Yeah,
very insightful.
So he would have a mailing list that he could use to.
Yeah, well, they're probably opting in it when they back it. Like they're probably opting in. There'll be a box that he's checking off on, but probably this figure was a prototype that they kind of had around, and it's like, yeah, it's Harley Quinn. You know, we'll run it and use it as a last minute fishing tool for for emails, basically, because I mean, he does sell his own stuff and he does his own crowdfund, and he'll have those emails if people sign up for it, and you'll get notified by whatever else he does next. I'm, you know, what's interesting, not trying to steer away from this, keep this up, but like I saw like a BBTS Flashpoint Batman that actually had guns, but they were red, and I was like, that's strange, because that was the whole thing, is these characters can't have guns. And
that was the thing for a while, but I in the past maybe year, maybe 6 months, I've seen more and more DC characters coming out with guns included, because Todd was kind of working around it and just doing gun packs without the DC logo on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you could, and it had very like character specific stuff, like, you know, Harley's ridiculous gun and stuff like that. But yeah, so he's doing. I mean, Harley Quinn has become one of DC's most popular characters, right?
I mean, I feel like it was overhyped and underdeveloped. Harley Quinn. Like, I mean, I know they were trying to do like quirky comics and stuff with her, Jimmy Palmiotti and stuff was, but I don't know if they ever really developed her. But I don't even know if she's ever really been developed more than what she was with Bruce Timm stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the movie universe and I think modern comics kind of have taken her in a different direction, where she leaves Joker and, you know, he's abusive, and they made a big deal out of that. And then they basically made a new Harley Quinn for Joker called, what was she called?
I know. Knockout? No, Punchline.
Punchline.
And then that was overhyped, and now nobody talks about her. You get what I'm saying?
You don't hear about Punchline.
It's just
anymore.
like, no, but
I never even heard of it.
Well, everybody was going after her first appearance. So, I mean, it was just a speculation she's the new Harley Quinn. And it got, I mean, the books were fetching quite a bit. And I was like, the hell's going on here? And then before you know it, like she was something and everybody was talking about to nothing. It was just like, and she was just a chick with blue hair and blue makeup on. That was it. Like, there was nothing to her. She just had a name, Punchline. His new girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay, so they've included this. What's his name? Jared Leto, the Jared Leto Joker, who almost everyone hates except for Bobby Vala. That's like his favorite version of the Joker, at least from the Snyder cut. This actually makes sense to me to stick him behind like a Kickstarter type of campaign, because I think if they sent this to retail, it would not sell.
Yeah. Well, Todd's been out there and he's talked about like conversations with DC where he's doing a new line and they're like, well, you need to do this character, and he's kind of fighting against it. Like he's almost fighting them what characters are in the toy lines. And like he brought up female characters, so I don't know if DC's like, you need a Batgirl, and he's like, I don't think I can sell a Batgirl figure, you know, because still Todd doesn't want, you know, he doesn't want his shit rolling into Ollie's or something, you know, because it's still his name, even if DC wants this, you know, this diverse character that they're pushing right now, because it's just, you know, like they did gay Superboy, you know, figure. Nobody bought that. I actually saw it in the store, like discounted, like not Walmart, Target, but like one of these other outlet stores. Todd never wanted that, like, you know, but then that's also led Todd to do what, like 1,000,001 Batman toys.
Oh, there's so many his first year was mostly like Dark Knight, death metal stuff, and there must have been a couple dozen different Batmans in that. I mean, they just kept coming and clogging the pegs. And
there's guys on YouTube where it's their whole wall is nothing but every Batman figure and every Batman variant, because then they'll do the Joker Batman paint job variant and whatever. And I mean, Todd had the Batman movie stuff. He has the animated stuff. I mean, it was a really great licensing deal, but like it seems like he's pounded the shit out of it. Like, I mean,
he has. I mean, he's rivaled Hasbro, and then just the sheer volume of figures that he's put out for DC. I mean, it must rival what Hasbro does with Marvel Legends because there's always something new hitting stores.
Yeah, and then Walmart would get their horrible variant, which is just a gold variant, and try to sell it, and then Walmart ends up discounting them because nobody wants a gold Wonder Woman. You know, it's just a solid gold paint job. I've kind of wondered about
Wonder Woman.
Well, the health in general of the DC line, because I actually thought the DC line was doing a lot better back when Mattel had it. You know, like I kind of felt like the figures, not themselves, I wasn't a big fan of them, but it seemed like people were more the Matty collector people. You know, it seemed like there was more of a collector fan base.
Yeah, I've kind of seen that feedback too. Like the general consensus amongst fans was that they liked it back when Mattel was putting out the toys.
The packaging, well, I mean, the whole presentation of it, I think people just liked it. And again, they were doing that at the same time they were doing the Masters of the Universe stuff.
Yeah. I collect that Matty Motu Classics line. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, it was just, I don't know, it felt like higher quality figures. But, I mean, they were running around and using the same, what do you call it, like buck, right?
Yeah, buck.
Yeah, the same buck on all the figures. So it was just kind of like, derivative, but it was still good. Like they were still good figures. And I don't. Where's the DC license going next?
It's going back to Mattel. They had it before
McFarland is that confirmed?
Like 15. Oh yeah.
Oh really? Oh.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know, I bought it at San Diego, and I still have it upstairs. But the NECA was in line to get it before Todd, so they had released their Comic-Con exclusives where it's like Superman and a Xenomorph and then a Green Lantern.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's Predator. And like, I never opened them, but the actual anatomy on the figures and stuff was great.
Yeah.
If NECA had ever gotten those, like they had a really good superhero body built. They just, and they probably weren't posable or anything like worth the fuck, but
no, they were actually well done as far as posability. Some of the best sculpts we've gotten for Batman and Superman. They were great. Those are really good figures. They ended up hitting like Walmart, not Target, but they definitely hit Walmart. You got like a Green Lantern with the Yellow Lantern Predator, and then there was a Superman that came with a Xenomorph, and then a Batman that came with the Xenomorph, and it was cool,
okay. So the Batman and Xenomorph, it was like a Joker Xenomorph.
It was it was Joker.
Yeah, it was like white and green, which it was just their normal Xenomorph, just repainted, redecoed. But that I did the Sinestro Predator was fucking badass. I was like, with all the weapons that were constructs. I was like,
oh yeah. I got that in the case. I put that in with my DC stuff, and it looks awesome, man. I was hoping that he would go 6-inch. I wanted 6-inch so that it kind of, matched up with Marvel Legends because I have like over 1,000 of those. But when he went 7-inch, I was pretty much out on the line.
Yeah. I still like some NECA stuff. I get like the Universal Monster stuff every now and then if there's like a character I really like. But I'll be honest, I kind of keep everything in the box. I wasn't a big fan of the Gargoyle figures they did. Like they just I got them, but the way the wings, it's really just the wings. It's like they're too fucking big.
Yeah, they take up so much room, and then if you want like folded down wings, you gotta buy these other characters that come with wings for. Yeah, it was weird the way they did it, but beautiful figures.
They look beautiful, great sculpts and everything. It's like they're not convenient, for the shelf at all. And that you guys know that's a big issue if you buy toys.
Oh my god, yeah, dude, I'm like bursting at the seams here. I gotta pack stuff up to get ready to sell off stuff that I don't want, just to because it's you don't when you're a collector, you don't stop buying. It's
I don't know if you guys keep an eye on the retro toy market, but that's fucking crazy. Especially if you go to cons and you see it, like
like the vintage stuff. You mean?
Oh, yeah. I was. I think it was John. He keeps trying to go to antique malls and keeps saying he wants some old toys. And I'm like, I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, dude, you have to go to a vintage toy store because they bought it all from the antique shops. You can't go into an antique shop and find that shit now. Really,
I mean, rarely.
Rarely.
There's not many.
I was talking to a guy at a con. He's like, you don't understand the prices on these things, or nobody knows. Like, there's no price guide for this shit. So it's basically eBay's dictating what things go for.
Yeah.
And it's fucking crazy because just some of the prices, especially if the figures are still in box and stuff, is insane.
And then graded now.
Yeah, they're grading them. Yeah.
Do you dabble with that? With the
no. I just have some like from back in the day, and there's every now and then there's a figure I want, like I don't know, like Slide from Thundercats was one of my favorite toys as a kid. You know, I thought the sculpt on him was great, especially for the time, even as a kid, like his feet and his scales and everything. Just some figures like Buzzsaw, different bad guys, Mantana, some old He-Man figures, not many, like, you know, but it's like just from a few years ago, 10 years ago, it's like it's almost like collectors from comics are now just trying to get into vintage toys or something. It's really weird because I have like a lot of vintage toy shops around me, you know, and I didn't realize how many had set up until you do a specific Google search for them. And they'll have some comic trades in there too for people, and they'll sell other stuff, but it's like it's just crazy, you know, especially if you go looking at everything behind a case and what they're fetching. It's like, it blew up like overnight. And it's all, again, like I said, all dictated by eBay speculators.
Yeah. You know, completed auctions. That's how people really price their stuff now.
Demon Eye says, do we know if Mattel is going back to 6-inch? We don't, but my opinion is they're going to stick with 7-inch because that's what McFarland's been doing for 5 years now. And also Mattel has the Masterverse line and the WWE line, and those are 7-inch. So I think they'll stick with 7-inch because then they can start doing crossovers. WWE, DC, Master, you know,
2-packs. They were doing those at Toys R Us before with DC. You get like, what was it, He-Man and
Skeletor, or Superman and He-Man, or Skeletor and Lex Luthor. Yeah,
I think Aquaman and Merman 2-pack, shit like that.
I think they'll do that again because that was a good, 10, 15 years ago. They could start pumping stuff out like that again. So as much as I would like a smaller Marvel Legends scale DC figure, I just don't think it's going to happen. But I want to get into something else I know you collect, this modern line. And you mentioned Cornboy earlier from Horsemen. And these are really cool. And they showed these the other day. If I could get it pulled up here. Here we go. It's the Legions Con. Where did it go? I lost it.
It might be in their news. You know.
Oh, here. You know what? I'll go to their Instagram. Let me do that.
Instagram is probably a little bit better.
They got it on their Instagram.
Scalfoid, I think is his name. The skeleton that you're about to pull up. Like, that was like one of my favorite colored skeletons that they've done.
Well, I'll pull that one up first then.
Yeah,
it's this neon green skeleton guy. This is going to be a Legions Con exclusive. Comes packed with accessories. With this much stuff, I thought it was going to be at a premium price, $75 or something like that. But I've heard that it's going to be their new regular price, $55, which is pretty. I mean, for what you get
for the wings, that's a pretty decent price.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Mythic Legions are covered in paint. The sculpts are awesome. I mean, the Mythic 4 Horsemen do some of the best sculpts and paint work on figures out of anyone out there. So
I have mixed feelings. They've done really well with the soft goods on the Knights, like that torso piece is pretty good. But so I'm hit or miss with soft goods. Like, I usually don't like them on action figures, but Mythic has been pretty good about that.
Do you open these or you keep these in the box?
I every now and then I have like a Skeleton Knight over here. I open that's one of those with soft goods. Like every now and then, I definitely would open. Like again, like he's like one of my favorite. Just the color scheme of him, the purple, the green, and you can mix that head that came with another thing. A lot of these are reused parts, but it's just the way they're painted and put together. It's like this guy, you can build out 2 or 3 ways. So like he looks super cool.
I mean, if you can get that many, being a Legions Con exclusive, it's going to be hard to get. I will be a Legions Con. I'm going to get as many as they allow me. I don't know how many that's going to be. I'm working with Valaverse at that show.
Cool.
And I know they have a special like vendor.
Your employer.
My employer that I almost
Your
got canceled
employer.
from. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see what they allow. And then they got the this golden dwarf guy. What's his name? Sir Valgard. And this was confusing at first. I talked about this on Yo Joe Jerk's channel the other day. He comes with regular size legs and arms, so you can make a dwarf, or you can make like a regular human sized soldier out of this that works with Sir Valgard. What do they call it? The Valiant Guard, the Valgard.
Yeah, Valiant Knight or Valiant Guard or something like that.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if they've done that before, giving you options between.
Well, technically, you can just take this guy, pop those legs on, keep this head on, and just make him into like a normal dude and not a dwarf, which is weird.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it's like you could have a dwarf version of this guy, or just pop the legs and the forearms on and make him normal.
Yeah.
That's you know what it reminded me of is that time in Asgardian Wars where Puck became a normal guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like when their powers disappear and he just grew normal height. That's like, wait, your superpower is to be a dwarf?
Yeah.
Like if you lost your powers, you would just be normal.
All right, let's go to the chat here. We got Kilroy was here. Thanks for the 5. Have you heard about the great midget or the great midget or Gee that occurred during the filming of The Wizard of Oz? An interesting tale of Hollywood history. No, I don't know what that is. You guys...
Like isn't there supposed to be like somebody from production like hanging from like a tree or something like that? Like they killed themselves?
They say that was the urban legend, but they also said it was a bird prop that fell and it was hung upside down, so it looked like somebody hung itself, but it was supposed to be a bird in a tree. I've heard so many versions of it. I don't know if that's what they're referring to, or there was a midget union.
I've heard about the midgets being like terrors, like just.
Oh yeah, they were like sexually assaulting Dorothy. What's her name?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. And they were always drunk. They're always getting drunk and grabbing her and stuff.
I think one of them is like the last living cast member still to this day.
Still?
Yeah, I think so. He's like
they got to be over 100 years old. That was 1937, something crazy. Yeah. God. Thank you, Kilroy was here. Appreciate you, man. Nick Clark says some picker like Froggy Flips is going to get a great deal at Shane's eventual estate sale.
Yeah.
Froggy Flips is in your area, isn't he? He's this big YouTuber that goes around and flips toys. Anyway.
There's that one big YouTuber that does the toy thing.
Toy Federation is
Toy Federation. I recognize him. I was talking this guy down on a Bowen statue at a con, South Carolina Comic Con, and I was just joking with him. And if he ever sees this, I was just joking. But I was like, "Hey, I watched your show." He's like, "Yeah, you do." I was like, "Yeah, is that scripted?" He's like, "No, it's not scripted. That's weird that you asked me that." And I was like, "I'm just curious. You know, some of the scenarios just seem too entertaining." And then I keep talking to the guy about this Bowen statue. I'm talking down the price, and he just keeps interrupting me. He's like, well, "That's weird that you asked me that. Nobody's ever asked me that." And I got in his head, and I just like, I don't know. Today I was fucking with him, but I actually like his channel a lot. But I could tell I got in his head. I was like, "Dude, I'm just messing with you."
That's Ryan at Toy Federation, right?
Oh, Ryan, yeah.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Yeah. I was just surprised that it got under his skin. I was just like, because as like guy rolls up his cards, you can't even see out his rear view mirror. It's packed with fucking vintage Star Wars stuff. I'm like, how the hell did he drive this thing? He's got fucking toys on the hood of the car.
Right.
You know, it's like I don't understand.
Man, they had a video today they put out where this guy brought in a collection.
Wet toys?
Huh?
The wet toys?
Yeah, they were wet, but I didn't know those Tobey Maguire figures from the first movie, the first Spider-Man.
Pretty expensive.
Those are worth a lot, man. He was going through those, and they were like $60, $100, like all in. This small collection was a couple $1,000s worth. I'm like, those sat around forever at Walmart. Like,
but that's the whole thing is like, that's the whole story behind that. that scat figure, right? The TMT
yes.
cat figure is that he was there, but just nobody wanted him. He ended up in a landfill or whatever. And then now, if you can find, that's the most expensive TMT figure because just nobody wanted him. It's not that anybody, it's a fucking cat in a gel suit.
Yeah.
And now, same thing with Star Wars in the 80s. Their last wave, Power of the Force. What do they call it? The final 17, Alex, I think.
Yeah.
The final 17. Those are like the most valuable ones. And they were all in dollar bins at like KB toy stores. Like people weren't buying Star Wars at that time, but those are worth the most out of anything now.
Yeah, those and the variants too. Like Vinyl Cape Jawa, rocket firing, of course.
So true story. I designed a bunch of Red Lanterns, like Dexstar and Bleeze and Scalocks, and a lot of these characters got plushies, toys, video games, all this shit, right? So there was the Green Lantern animated series that was on Cartoon Network, and it was doing well in viewership. It went on for quite some seasons, and the Red Lanterns were bad guys. And I didn't create Atrocitus. Ethan created Atrocitus, but it had Scalocks, it had Zelia Socks, it had Bleeze in it, and they were going to make toys. But what happened is the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie bombed, and Walmart and Target and people got stuck with the toys that nobody would buy. And they had developed the toys, prototypes, and the show was doing great. And because box stores got burnt with Green Lantern, the toys never went into production. So it's weird, like the toy, and that's when I was realizing like how Walmart and Target, like how big of a fucking influence, at least then, but probably still now, they have just in general on the mainstream toy market,
Yeah, I mean, especially since Toys R Us went out of business. I mean,
now they're getting ready to open up 30 more.
New 10 stores. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I think
talking about a comeback for years now.
But I see people getting excited for that, and I think guys, that Toys R Us's time has passed. I think these new stores aren't going to be what they were.
Yeah,
I don't think that the nostalgia is going to hit like it used to.
Unless something happens to Amazon, people will always go to the online stores instead of brick and mortar.
Yeah,
big box.
Well, here's the thing about the Toys R Us thing. Like, I don't know. There's a couple of things that they would do well in that you can't really get off of Amazon, or if you do, it's like Amazon doesn't like the fucking the big 4-wheeler things that kids play in the
Power Wheels,
like that.
Yeah.
I could see Toys R Us doing more like backyard play sets for kids, and shit like that, and they would actually thrive if they dictate like, I don't know, a quarter of their store for that, right? They were already putting like another quarter for baby shit in the back.
Yeah, there was like all of them were like split Babies R Us, Toys R Us.
Right.
They make way more money on the baby clothes and the furniture than they would on margins. On toys are really, really slim compared to other stuff. So
and the retail space is there. I remember when I was talking about this on another stream because I was kind of caught up with Superman Earth 1. The sales on it were being kind of tossed in with Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Borders at once. But when Borders went under, like that retail space just sat there. Nobody, like, what the fuck am I going to do with that building, that shape, with that high ceiling? Yeah. So the retail space in a lot of these strip malls is still there. It's really easy for Toys R Us to open back up. I mean, because a lot of that retail space, if it's not for Spirit of Halloween, it's sitting empty.
I don't know what it's like by you guys, but I live in Seattle, and during the pandemic, so much retail left. We have so much empty retail space here. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Like, you could pop up like 10 Spirit Halloweens within 2 miles of me. It's crazy.
So I wonder about Toys R Us, but online shopping has really dictated the BBTS probably inflated during this time, and you're gonna have to compete with them. And BBTS now is like putting out daily deals almost, and it's like you're gonna compete against that. It's like the novelty of it. But here's what's funny is I could go to Singapore after Toys R Us shut down, and I mean, they're thriving stores. And
same in Canada. I crossed the border to Canada, and there's still 2-3 right there in in BC.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
man, they're always empty when I go in there. It's like a ghost town.
I miss KB Toys. That was my thing. I actually like
cool.
KB Toys more than Toys R Us for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was small toy store, always packed, always in a mall.
I always found the hard to find stuff at KB.
Yeah,
like Toys R Us and Walmarts and stuff, Kmart at the time, like everything would disappear. But I remember finding all kinds of cool stuff at KB. And then they had their discount bins, right? You go in and they have like a big giant bin full of like $1 toys that wouldn't sell, just like the Power of the Force stuff. They had that back in the day, and now look at that.
Did you, Shane? Did you have Kitty City when you were growing up? Lionel Kitty City?
No.
Yeah, okay. It's like a Toys R Us, but I guess for the Northeast or whatever.
Yeah, never. We just had Toys R Us and KB Toys, and I mean the KB's toys were always like in shopping malls.
Yeah,
like always small. Like, and Toys R Us was always the big department store.
Yeah,
But it's funny because there's that new Channing Tatum movie coming out where he's I guess it's
he
story and
breaks
he's
out of jail and then he hides into Toys R Us and I saw
they're making a movie out of that.
Yeah. And he's at Toys R Us the whole time. It's like, and it's weird. Toys R Us still means something in the pop culture zeitgeist, just like Blockbuster. There's still one
but not really to like. I think one of the big problems, at least in North America, is there. With the toy industry is their inability to create young
kids
people. I mean I think in the last year or so there was a few articles that came out that like said that the majority of the people that buy toys now are adults like our age.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, my daughter's been really big into Thomas, because and Thomas is one of those generational IPs.
That
kind of work really well, and they'll pick a lot like Transformers. They'll do a reboot and pick up a soft reboot, because they always kind of still pretend G1 is really all that matters, and at least for the fans, and then they'll add some new characters and then pull the characters from the previous thing onto the next, and they just keep adding to the library of characters. Thomas and then Bluey.
My daughter's into
a ton of
Bluey.
toys and merch.
How old is your daughter?
4.
Yeah, my daughter will be 4 in a month, so they're about the same age.
Well,
I'm
my
actually
daughter
taking
turns
her
4
to
in
see.
October.
I'm actually taking her to see Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie tomorrow. It's gonna be a movie. Is your daughter into that?
No. Dude, I feel selfish. I got my daughter into old Godzilla films.
There you go.
Already?
Yeah.
And she loves it. You know what it is whenever they're shooting at Godzilla and there's fireworks going off. She thinks that's the funniest shit in the world. Because he's just marching through it and everything's exploding around him. She's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's fucking badass. But that and for some reason she really likes Generation 1 Transformers. Which I was surprised. Like, dude, you know what it is? And I didn't realize the crack they had us on as a kid. If you go back and you put on G1 Transformers with no commercials, your attention span is locked in. Because all of a sudden here's Optimus. Now Optimus is a truck. Now here's the spinning sign commercial break. Now we're back. Here's the introduction of him transforming. Now he's this. And so your character protagonist is constantly transforming. So your attention span's completely locked in. They almost have it on a fucking timer. Like they had, and I didn't realize they were doing that. And it's making you want to buy the toy because it does the thing. But it also is making you, it's sucking your attention span in because it's constantly changing. I was like, holy shit. And because I'm watching her not get zombified, but until you see like a kid's reaction to it, did you understand what it was doing? It's like totally crazy.
Well, they still kind of go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
You sure? Okay. When my kid was younger, about your kid's age, 4, 5, 6 years old, I decided Netflix was booming. I decided, okay, I'm going to show him cartoons from my childhood. We watched Masters. One episode, we're like, nah. Like, it's bad.
Yeah, no, it's bad to rewatch.
Even like Ninja Turtles, it's bad. But Transformers was the one that really stood out, and we both watched it and loved it, and he got sucked in.
Yeah.
You know, and even I was sucked in as as like a 38, 40-year-old. And
well, I mean, those
Transformers
Marvel productions were always a little bit better written than the other ones.
Well, it's not that they're storyboarded better. They switch camera angles better. That they like. I was watching a scene where they're all jumping a cliff, and of course Bumblebee can't drop it, and Wheeljack has to go back and transform and pull his ass up. And it's like they switch to camera angles. They build scenarios. It's written better, but it is storyboarded better, and the action and the shots and the
animation.
Yeah,
they shared all the talent too. You know, so company. But they still kind of do that whole hypnotic thing with even like the new stuff that's coming out today. Like, we don't let our daughter watch Cocomelon. Because there's something about dude. There's like something very
that's like crack cocaine.
That's like satanic.
Yeah.
That's like secret devil messages. That trash. Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, it is weird as a parent. You really do have to get invested into what they're consuming because the Cocomelon thing. There was some propaganda that didn't slip in certain episodes. Yeah. So
my wife and I have decided that we're not even going to let her like get a phone or a pad or whatever until she's like 18 or whatever, until she really has to, because it's just I think they're in kids' hands way too young. There's too much information.
That's right, Stu for lunch. Motu does suck, and you suck if you like it. You hear me?
Stop it.
He-Man sucks, and he's gay.
The memory of He-Man is a lot better than going back and rewatching it as a kid. Somehow your brain lets go of a lot of fucking profile shots of characters running over and over.
I don't think there's ever been another cartoon that's reused the same animation as much as Motu.
As He-Man,
Oh my god. Yeah. All right, let's go back to our chat here. Katie says, I will fight Mike Partika over Inglorious Rex being a perfect comic series. Hell yeah. Beat him up.
All right. So there's a bit of a debate about that, and I get it. Here's the thing. Inglorious Rex is not a superhero book.
No.
I do have a protagonist. He is going to go through the hero's journey and all that, but he has motives that lead him into being a hero for the city. And he's on a so I'm going to that. But a lot of people that are like, I need my good guy punching the bad guy that's robbing the bank. You might not, it's not that basic. That's
right. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, Anatomic is funding right now at 9livescomics.com. Go check it out. You can back it. When it gets to 140,000, an Ashcan comic is being included at no extra cost. It's $139,269 right now. So go back Anatomic. Link is pinned in the chat. Check it out. It's awesome. And I mean that genuinely. The Inglorious Rex comics are awesome, and this is the prequel Anatomic. So you could actually start with this one if you want, or you can go to 9livescomics.com and pick up the first 2 issues of Inglorious Rex, or do both. It's really good, man, and the artwork is beautiful. So
thanks. Well, I don't know. I wanted it to be one of the coolest things I've ever done. And that's every book you do, but this time it's like it's my thing, and it's like, and again, guys, you can pick up Starlight Cats in there for the kids. It's our all ages book. We always keep that out there. We're actually getting low on what we got of that, what second printing of that, and that campaign was like $127,000, I think, was the first campaign. But looking at the print numbers, we've actually sold in the aftermarket our first printing of Inglorious Rex, which was a $300,000 campaign.
Wow.
So Starlight Cats, a lot of people slept on it. A big word of mouth thing. A lot of people like it for their kids, but it's a good all ages book. I mean, little girl, big adventure, cats in space. So definitely check it out.
Let me bring up Starlight Cats here, because this is actually one that I have not checked out.
Well, it's just an all ages kids book. I mean, it's it's fun. The first printings are quite expensive, but we have that Kelsey Shannon cover there for $25. This is the artist from Anatomic did this cover. That's not mine. But there's a couple of $25 buy-ins that you can get it. It's really safe to give all kids. We do have like explosions in it, but they're like spaceships exploding and stuff like that. So a really good all ages book, but everybody loves it. That's adult too.
Oh, there you okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're all middle-aged here. A lot of us have kids. Pick it up. Katie did says, this was so good, too. I can't wait to give it to my little girl soon. There you go.
Yeah.
Check out Starlight Cats, 9livescomics.com. Again, you also have this book called Extend, which I read. And that one was really cool, too. It was a remastered edition of the stuff we did at Image, where I wanted to change some things that Image kind of asked me to do. I added some new artwork to the campaign or the book itself, and all new color, all new letters, all new inks. A lot of it was reworked, and we're working on the second volume. This is like a special project. We're just remastering in the background everything we already got in production. So you can still back it on, or not back it, but buy a copy. It's in stock, yeah.
Yeah. But Respawn, this book is all new material. Okay. It had artwork from Kelsey Shannon, Anthony again from Anatomic is in this, Monica, and Donald DeLay. And so what we did in this book is every time they go into a different video game, because the characters are kind of video game based, they're people that get pulled into a video game world, but then the game comes out into the real world, a lot like Tron Ares. It's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. So I did this years way before that, though. It is Tron influenced to a point, but yeah, without spoiling the book, there's a big twist on the video game aspect. So without getting into that, but we have this beautiful Mark Texeira cover that's glow in the dark, and that's Mark Texeira pencils, inks by me. And that was crazy that I was able to ink Mark Texeira, because that Ghost Rider comic meant a lot to me as a kid. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy that I was able to get
the glow in the dark one.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Which this is obviously a big, homage to. But the glow in the dark technology is completely different now. It's very much spot gloss type. They can't use that glue from back in the day or whatever that shit was that they printed because it's poisonous. Like we had these poisonous comics.
Asbestos glue.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you can't ingest it. So some kid was eating his Ghost Rider comic.
Oh my god!
Fucking blew up. I don't know. They just don't. They don't print it like that anymore. So if you had any of those old glow in the dark comics, don't eat them.
Eric Huffle says, ask Shane why he redid the lettering on Extend.
There was a lot of people on Extend that were like, your Comicsgate, you can't reprint my artwork. So it basically caused me to be like, okay, well, I had a logo. I had to redo. I had to redo a lot of things. This letterer had done the Starlight Cats logo.
Like the logo, or also like the word balloons and stuff too.
Everything
inside,
and I had like everybody was like, you don't have the right to reprint my work, which I actually do, because it was work for hire. I just was like, okay, well, fuck you, I'll just redo it, and we did, and the campaign raised, I want to say $132,000. So if you read the old Extend stuff, Extend Respawn is completely new. Extend is remastered. Level Up is new colors, new letters, new inks. The story changed a little bit, and there's some.
You ended up changing some of the dialogue when you did.
Yeah. And I still want to go back and redo dialogue, because we're re-dialoguing Inglorious Rex 1 and 2 now for the collection, and also for the line artwork edition. So I'm always tweaking dialogue, and you'd be surprised. It doesn't matter how many editors you have. There's always, sometimes not typos, but say like a character, for example, we have Razor. She has these whips and harpoons on her back that she's able to toss around, and there's stingers and poison in them, right? So I had Anatomic refer to one moment it's a stinger, and then later in the series she refers to it as a harpoon. It's like, well, she wouldn't do that. Somebody else would call it something else, but she would refer to it as same thing. Like little glitches that you just fuck up on, you know, that you have to go back, and they just slips through everybody. You'd be surprised. There's always something that you can nip and tuck. And probably every fucking book I've ever worked on has some problem like that. I just never noticed it until it was mine, you know?
Yeah. All right. Cool. That's 9livescomics.com. Seriously, check it out. The link is pinned in the chat. Hooligans, I'm talking to you guys. Someone backed this book tonight. It's good. Anatomic, the prequel to Inglorious Rex, which has 2 issues out right now, 1 and 2, and the 3rd is on the way. And Alex, I will be right back. So, you and Shane talk.
Yeah.
BRB.
Yeah. So Shane, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about your body of work and like your history in mainstream comics now that you've kind of been removed from it for a little while? I mean, I could understand if you're looking back, you don't want to look back on it, or you're went through an anger stage and maybe you're at peace with it now. How do you feel about that?
So
because you have a lot to be proud of, man.
Yeah.
You're doing now. I think you're really doing gangbusters now. You're collabing with your wife, creating shit. I'm
divided on it a lot. Because, you know, before I was ever trying to draw comics, I was a fan, you know, like most of us are. We like comics, we buy comics, but I mean, I don't know. There's some days I'm like, what in the hell was I ever thinking about getting into comics? You know, it's like, even today I scratch my head about, and I was like that the whole time I was working at DC. It's like, it just seemed like, realistically, it was just like, why would you ever pick this roller coaster to get on? You know, like, and obviously I just like drawing and love comics. So I do it, but you know, you still end up with those mornings you wake up out of bed is like, what am I doing again today? Like, what, how did why would I, you know, like, that's crazy. Like, I'm dealing with the craziness. And because even when I was working in comics, it was like a madhouse, like people trying to pivot on a trend, and you thought you were doing this. Now they're quickly changing the story around because they think it'll make more money. And it was just like, just hectic. I mean, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into, really. Yeah, nobody does. That's the whole thing. And then the whole culture shift, change, war, whatever you want to call it, happened. And it didn't really feel like it's something anybody could stay neutral on. I don't know. How do I feel about it? It's weird. As far as my work, I mean, there's some books I would be like, I look at now and I'm like, that was probably a waste of my time, but it paid the bills. Not a lot of people pick at certain books. They like that election night book, and they're like, oh, yeah, you drew Trump as Penguin, you know, because it services my agenda. It's like, dude, that was a fucking job. I was able to provide for my mom who was dying of cancer with that job, and go fuck yourself. Also, that job painted both candidates as criminals. So nobody was shamed in that. You know, everybody was shamed. The whole system was shamed. You know, literally the characters being busted that stand in for Hillary for emails slipping out, you know, is like, the fuck, both sides were kind of demonized in that. Like, that's just the way DC Comics, Meredith Finch wrote that, like, not me. But it's just like, I look back and there's like jobs I've been like, I could have not done that. But I mean, the people that are asking to do these jobs dictate your other job. Yeah. You know, and it's like, if you say no to one gig, you might not get another gig. Right. Yeah. You know, it's like they may take it personally. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you know, and there are some jobs I was able to slip out of, you know, like they almost had me do a Green Arrow, Black Canary book. You know, I somehow slipped out of it. You know, there's some jobs I think could have been shorter. Look, I never like my work after I'm done drawing. Same here. yeah. So when I look back at my old work, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm proud of it, but I'm like at the same time, I'm kind of like, I would draw that today, you know.
Yeah, kind of like to echo what you were just saying. You know, I when I look back on it, I'm like, you know, but at the same time, you know, like you said, I was able to provide for, especially now after having a daughter, you know, you're able to provide for, like, you know, I told my wife, or I tell her all the time, you know, everything that we have for the most part, you know, I created, I attained with these hands, you know. So I'm always like, I have a lot of pride in my work, even though I might not always like when it's finished. But on top of that, like I said, it's like I'm making a living. I'm super proud of the fact that I've never had to do anything else than draw for a living since pretty much we graduated from school.
And whoring.
You know. And what?
A little whoring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, to be able to even just make a living in the creative field with something like Joe was very much like, you need to be able to do a multitude of things,
right?
Understand the entire process. And I will give credit, you know, I kind of understand enough about, you know, every process that I'm able to art direct.
You
know.
Yeah.
Or I may not computer color, but I know enough about coloring. I've always been able to kind of, you know, say, hey, I kind of want an effect here like this, or I want this doesn't look right. If you move this around a little bit and give me a different palette, or pull up examples of palettes, you know. So I mean, it all works out in the end. I'm doing my own thing, but
and you're successful. It looks like you're
no, trust me. I every day I'm like, thank God, you know, for all my backers and all my supporters, but trust me. But at the same time, I'm like, I'll be honest, Inglorious Rex 3 especially, because where I'm at in the story and where I'm going for 4. Like, I've had to write 4 out and everything, and I know the ending of 4, and I know where I want it. It's a good jumping off point, but maybe another jumping on point. We'll see. But I'm like, I'm really having to put a lot of energy into this one project and one property that I never feel like I can talk about because I don't want to spoil it for people.
Yeah,
so it's like I'm constantly sitting on this ball of creative energy invested into this one thing that nobody understands but me and maybe Yanzi. Like, in some of the things I've fought myself on that I'm doing with Alex in 3, Yanzi, when she first heard about it, she's like, you can't do that to him. And I'm like, I have to do that to him because this is going to make him a better hero. Even though it's horrible, and we really like pulled back, and it's like, that's just crazy that I care about this fictional character, me and her, so much that we're like, that is drastic, you know. So but it all works out. So but that's just the love I have, and I don't know if I could ever do that with something at DC or Marvel. I guess. You know, it's like I can't, because you can't give yourself that much to a corporate character because
it's never really
you know somebody in the back of your head's just going to come in and fucking redo it, or bounce off of it, or you're putting yourself out there for some editor to be like, no, you know, we're not doing that. You know, it's like, okay, you know, and plus you kind of have to respect the legacy there, not to interrupt it too much. So it's already like, if you respect the character, it's like, I'm not gonna, which I'm building something, which is a lot harder. When you work in corporate comics, it's like, you know, they already figured out Superman and Kryptonite and Lex Luthor and Metallo and I remember Mark Miller talking about Ultimates. He was like, people are like, oh dude, this book's awesome. He's like, yeah, thank God Jack Kirby, and you know, you know, I mean, he even knew, like, dude, I didn't create these characters. You know, like, thank God they did the hard part for me. I just kind of reimagined what they did, you know.
All right. Well, let's go back to the chat here. We got Hunter Prime here. He says 8,000 subs. Thank you, Hunter Prime. Appreciate you, man.
A lot of sandwiches.
Yeah. 8,000. We did it. 8,000, man. That's awesome. Impossible Pie says, when does Mattel officially take over DC? That's in July of 26. Yeah, well, 26. Drew G says 2 questions. Who let the tiger out, and how was Mange born?
Dude, that was a bit. I don't know. That was a bit, and then Dale kind of is like we were talking about. I said something about dogs living up under a trailer with mange, sleeping on fucking like sleeping on whatever. What is that shit you put in the walls?
Insulation?
Insulation, yes. Sleeping on insulation. And then Dale's like, yeah, your name could be Mange. And it was just like, somehow it came about just like that. Yeah. On live stream like that, crazy. I don't know. Every now and then, not all the time, like not your show, respectively. I like to dress up and have fun. I like to have fun because it's like you're selling comics. It should be fun, guys.
Yeah, we shouldn't be that serious. And Mange is great. Mange is for those that don't know, Mange is like a character you play on your streams, and he looks a lot like the Tiger King.
Yeah,
he's great.
Obviously,
he's on the thumbnail. If you saw the thumbnail, that's Mange.
That's that video you sent me. That music video you sent me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do funny bits. Sometimes I do Malibu Mange where I'm dressed up in 80s gear. It's like I do all these fucking dumb things.
He did Vanilla Ice Mange last night on Ballers.
Yeah, I do the vanilla. It's all over the place. So I have a wig sometimes I don't. It's just I've done Space Mange, I've done Star Mange where I'm Starscream, but I'm Mange. It's all over the fucking place.
It's cool, man. Yeah, everyone's got to check out, by the way, your YouTube channel, which is Talking and Drawing with Shane Davis, and there is a link in the description below. And I'm sure Katie or Drew will drop a link in the chat here. But check out Shane's channel. You guys do videos like almost daily, just talking about pop culture stuff and the news, and you also do Ballers every other week on your channel, every other week on Mandy's channel, and all kinds of streams.
We joke around. We joke around with Dale Keown, and and we talk pop culture stuff still on that show to a bit. Not we don't want it to overtake the show, but we do it a bit. I was
telling Alex before I went on Ballers, I'm like, Alex, it's crazy. Like, I'm going to be streaming with Dale fucking Keown. I mean, being a kid of the 80s and 90s, growing up and reading comics, he was huge, man.
Yeah, you know what's weird about Dale is everybody's like, oh, fuck, it's Dale. It's fucking Dale. But Dale just wants to laugh at stupid shit on the internet. Nobody understands. Everybody's like, but it's Dale. It's like, dude, I fucking, you set a midget out and Dale will show up. I mean, all you gotta do is...
Grizzly Nightmare 80, thanks for the $2. He says, Shane, how many X Plus figures do you own?
All right, a lot. My wife.
Wow, X Plus. Those are big boys.
Some big ones up there.
Yeah, they have like the 30 centimeter and like the 25 centimeter or something like that.
Yeah. My wife actually resells actually some toys. She has. We never talk about it, but she has her own business. So like a lot of these are just Christmas gifts and anniversary gifts because she knows I like Godzilla. So.
Robert's Infinite Realm says, fun fact, George Carlin was the narrator for Thomas the Tank. No way. Was he the narrator for Thomas?
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
House Hendo says they want to save the toy market for kids. They'll have to find a way to recreate that without the FCC cracking down. Is that what's happening? The FCC's cracking down on content for kids? I don't know.
They're getting ready to, I think.
Okay. Eric Huffle says, I read that one. Look at this. We got something coming up here. It's going to be a lot of fun. My buddy Zakanan is here, and he sent in 10 3POA podcast memberships. So you know what that means. Alex, don't turn your camera off. You leave it on because we're going to party. Thank you so much, Zakanan, for 10 3POA podcast memberships. Appreciate you so much, Zakanan. We're going to find out who got those. We got Katie Ditt's channel. Got one of those. Eric Huffle's got one of those. Amoral Fat 40 ounce FFP. Chi Chi Collects. Hot Banana Water. Toy Cartel. Killer King. Daniel 808 Grunt. And I Bet Cats Are Loose. Thank you, Zakanan, for 10 3POA podcast memberships. Appreciate you so much. All our new channel members, stay tuned for the after show about 15 minutes after this ends. Thank you so much. Zakanin! All right, Alex, you can come back. Come on, man. I don't know why you do it to me. Are you trying to be like the new Bobby?
Yeah, I'm in his chair.
Oh, my God.
What would Bobby do?
Yeah. Thank you, Zakanin. I do appreciate that, man. All right.
Let me ask you guys. I'm not trying to interrupt the super chat, but what the hell is McFarland getting into after the DC stuff? Because I know he's been doing the Marvel statues, but
he's back into the sports line. He's got Mortal Kombat, of course, Spawn.
Doesn't he do Fortnite also?
No,
Fortnite
ended.
He did, and then somebody else picked up Fortnite, so he doesn't do Fortnite anymore.
Yeah, DC was his. I mean, obviously his biggest license, but he's gotten
Walking
Mortal
Dead.
Kombat.
Is he still doing that, or
I don't even know if Walking Dead's still that big.
They turned into like 3 different spin-off shows.
No, I think I saw he's getting back into Walking Dead too. He did like a 5-inch figure line, and he might be getting back into that, but. He's got plans, man. It's Todd. He's a good businessman. He'll make it whatever.
Well, the Marvel thing, I thought like maybe he was going to get like some action figure stuff going on, but it's all only the statues. So, and they actually seem to move. They seem to move like off the shelves whenever I see them in Walmart.
They're pretty cool.
The statues?
Yeah. Well, they're hit or miss to me. Like I like the Thor one a lot just because they did the Kirby stuff on it, right? The paint work, and then there's some of them they do, like the Jim Lee ones, like they did a Wolverine or something.
That one I don't like.
They're doing a lot of the X-Men from that cover of X-Men #1. He's done his own Hulk, and I think he did his own Wolverine,
like the Todd Art stuff.
Yeah.
Venom. I think he did a Venom one.
So, from what I've heard, and from what Bobby heard from his old, he used to work at Hasbro, so he heard that McFarland did pitch for Marvel, and Hasbro did pitch for DC. But Mattel got DC and Hasbro kept Marvel. So
yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Well, I mean, I guess Hasbro does well with Marvel, so they kept it.
Yeah.
But if Hasbro had lost Marvel, that wouldn't have been good for Hasbro.
No.
Yeah.
That's their biggest IP.
Yeah.
I think it sells more than Star Wars. So
yeah.
Especially now.
Let's see here. We got Goody Two Shoes. Thanks for the 5. Alex, get in here. You're a great artist. We'll fund your idea. Join the dark side. Hail Comicsgate.
Yeah.
Thank you, Goody Two Shoes. Alex. Robert Diaz says, Alex, what was that non-artist real job that you had before the artist thing took off? You hinted at it.
Well, I mean, technically it was working at the Kubert Art Store. That was my last real job, but that's still kind of art related. But before that, the summer before I went to the Kubert School in fall, I was waiting tables.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then Doc Brewski, thanks for the 2. I see Shane is draining another chat's life for us. What a dick. Thanks for the 2.
Came over here and drained the chat.
Tarks9, thanks for the 5 3POA podcast memberships. Who got those? Mike T, Aaron Logan, Chris Babinski, Darth Primus, and John Bluesink Jr. Your channel members, like I said, stay tuned for the after show. We're going to wrap this up. Shane, I appreciate you coming on so much, man.
Oh, no, dude, I've been wanting to get on. I do watch the stream from time to time.
Oh,
so
nice.
Good talking to you. I always love toy talk. So,
Cool. Hey, one last question.
Yeah.
Inglorious Rex, Xsend. Have you ever thought about toys for your original IPs?
Yes, but the problem is it might be simpler to do like a PVC. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I do minifigures that come with our subscription boxes, usually on the Inglorious Rex, and they're really nice. I don't have one. Actually, I do.
Let's see it.
Here's a painted 232.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
I'm gonna pick it up.
Very cool.
So that's the little cockpit on the back. So the pilots.
Looks great.
So I mean, I have 3D models already kind of built, and the action figure game, from what I understand, just I don't. Some of it's the storing and fulfillment. We comics. You're really easily thousands and thousands of books fit, onto a few pallets, right? Thousands and thousands of toys.
You
gotta get a warehouse or a storage unit. You gotta. It's a lot. You add a lot of overhead to.
And the profits are probably not that high on that. I don't know about PVCs though. The PVC thing. I've came across some information. I'm tracking it down. I'm running. I got to buy. I'm wanting to look at some samples, and me and Yanzi are actually considering doing a 232 PVC, but I don't know what year it would be. I got to get with the factory, look at some samples, and I'm tracking down the sample now. So,
all right. Again, go to 9livescomics.com. Check out Anatomic. Back it. 9livescomics.com. It's awesome. Pick up the first 2 issues of Inglorious Rex and Extend, Respawn, Starlight Cats. Check it all out. 9livescomics.com.
Thank you, guys.
No, thank you, Shane. Thanks for coming on. This was a lot of fun. We barely talked about Patrick Thomas Parnell. Maybe we'll have you back, and we'll go through all because he's trying to get back into the toy industry now. We'll see if he can make it happen. I don't know. He burned every bridge he had in Comicsgate and the comics industry. We'll see how he does in the toy industry. I don't know. I look forward to seeing how it plays out.
Thanks for it was good catching up with you, Shane.
We haven't talked in years, man.
So. I know. We'll exchange info when we're done here. I'd love to stay in more frequent contact with you, man. I'm really happy that you're succeeding and you have a family now and all that stuff is flourishing.
Same to you, man. Same to you.
Congratulations, man.
Look at that. 3POA bringing people back together, making connections. By the way, Shane, Alex, if you guys want to chat a little more, don't leave during the credits. If you got to go, you got to go. That's cool. But I'm going to play the end credits. Hooligans, listen up. Don't leave during the end credits because you might be in them. Thanks, everybody. And Hooligans, stay tuned for the after show. We'll see you over there. Good night. That was the wrong one. I got hit the credits right here. There we go.
Yo, this one's for Laser Pants, the king of the stream, ripping mics on 3POA, living the dream in the face of hate. He's raw, gritty, and real. Let's bark at the haters, tell them how we feel. Laser Pants, man, he's running the game. Action figure goat, putting on the shame. With Bobby Vala, they spit fire, no cap. 3POA podcast where the real ones clap. Informative, dropping knowledge on the toy scene. Entertaining like a flick on a big screen. From Mayfex joints to Mezco's dope flare. Marvel Legends stack, yo, they don't compare. Action Force rising, Jada Street Fighter kick, Savage Crucible heat, collecting the pics, unboxing that fire, every figure's a thrill. Laser and Bobby keeping it real. Where my collectors at? Throw them hands up high. Laser Pants and Bobby, they the truth, no lie. 3POA, bring the heat, no chill. Real talk, no shills, keep it raw, that's the deal. Viper Island's a clown. We call them out, never backing down. Viper Island, man, what a joke, what a fraud. Lying like a cuck, getting dissed by the squad. Talking big game, but he's losing the plot. Laser Pants roast him, leaves him tied in a knot. No cowards here, they don't duck from the fray. Controversy, they'll slay, let the truth light the way. Calling out the fakes, yeah, they swing that blade. Ain't afraid of your tears, watch your feelings fade. No shills in this camp, they don't bend for the cash. Spitting facts on the mic, leaving haters in ash. From the streams to the pod, they the voice of the streets. For the figure collectors, they the ones that we need. Where my collectors at? Throw them hands up high. Laser Pants and Bobby, they the truth, no lie. 3POA, bring the heat, no chill. Real talk, no shills, keep it raw, that's the deal. Viper Island's a clown. They call him out, never backing down. Viper Island's crying, yo, he's lost in the sauce. Talking trash online, but he's taking a loss. Laser Pants last, man, you're weak, take a seat. Bobby chimes in, yo, your lies can't compete. They don't bow to the drama, they don't flinch at the hate. Real collectors, know they serving up plates. Every stream's a banger, every pod's a gem. Laser and Bobby, yeah, the best of the men. No filter, no fear, they don't cater to clowns. If you're acting like a fool, they'll shut you down. From the figures to the facts, they the voice of the game. 3POA forever, etch it into the fame.